Are we good yet?
Are we allowed to talk?
Okay. Yay! You can tell Katie and I have done this a lot recently.
You should bring Kaya to the Puppy Fest. It'll be a lot of fun.
Okay, we'll look into that.
That's in June?
It's in June. And Malcolm had a lot of fun last time. There's lots of puppies, and there's a dunk tank, too, for the doggies.
That's true. We don't bring
they
Arya.
jump in it.
Yeah, it's a
we
jump
don't bring
tank.
Arya.
So it's a pool.
Yes.
It's a pool.
With like a dog diving board, kind of.
Well, it's a platform.
Yeah.
It's not like a diving board.
It's cool, though. Does anyone know what episode number this is? Because I do not.
199, according to the message Andy sent out.
Snazzy.
We should have come next week instead.
We should have.
Yeah.
Special 200 episode, The Shay's Return.
Yeah. Can we come next week and I'll just get really drunk and then people can complain that I'm annoying when I'm drunk again?
They would never complain.
No one would ever complain about you, Katie.
No, I'm pretty sure that it happened.
Did it? Is that what you remember?
What?
Just yelling at my phone.
Oh, okay.
So I plug in a fucking headset into it, and it thinks, earphones.
Earphones, sure.
Into it, and it thinks it's a fucking headset all the time.
Oh, it thinks it's it's trying to pick up microphone-ness?
Yep.
That's helpful of
And
it.
so Google keeps on popping up. There we go. It's listening. Thank you, Google.
It loves you.
I just want to fucking test the goddamn audio stream that's going out.
I don't know. So how does this podcast
I love you. I
thing
just
work?
want to
how do we do
test
this
it again.
podcast
How do we
Goddamn
do this
audio
podcast
stream.
thing?
Announcements.
Don't we introduce ourselves first?
Introductions.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Andy. I'm fucking with my phone.
I'm Brian.
I'm Nathan, and I was fucking with my phone. But then I put it away.
Katie wants to say something dirty.
No, no. My name is Katie.
My name is Jeremy. Valiant418 on the forums.
No, they don't exist anymore.
I mean, they still exist-ish.
They-
They're
you
very
watch-
different.
Don't exist.
Did you watch all the old Twin Peaks? Because I only made it halfway through. But I did read Laura's diary.
Twin Peaks is garbage, as is pretty much everything David Lynch has ever done.
Okay, but somebody wants to know how excited you are about it.
I'm not, because Twin Peaks is garbage, as is pretty much everything David Lynch has ever done.
So you're fairly excited, would
He
you
had
say?
that one movie where that chick was naked a lot.
It's a strong
That
movie plus.
was terrible.
What movie?
Man, what was the name of his? What name of his really original, his old stuff?
So Eraserhead, I'm okay with Eraserhead.
Okay, I don't know that one.
It's his big breakthrough one.
Okay.
It's weird as shit, but it's actually
The one I have to keep it.
yeah. Well, Dune. He did Dune.
Oh, he did Dune? I
Yeah,
love
he
Dune.
did. Well, Dune is like a guilty pleasure because it's so cheesy.
I mean,
dumb.
it is, but it's good.
Had you ever read Dune?
I had. And I still
so
enjoy
remember
it.
how like heart plugs aren't a thing because it's the dumbest thing ever, and you
Yeah.
don't cure poison by duct taping a cat to a rat, and how there aren't voice activated laser guns that say different amount of killing depending on what word you say because that's all dumb as fuck. Like it's so cheesy and weird, but I do love Dune.
But it is, yeah.
Dune and Eraserhead are the two David Lynch things I enjoy.
Okay.
And I feel like everything he's done afterwards, he's just as weird as possible in an attempt to be as artistic as Eraserhead was naturally. Like, it feels artistic in Eraserhead. It feels forced and masturbatorial in everything else.
Okay.
He's like, oh, isn't this deep? And you're like, no, it's just weird. It's like, no, but that donkey has a head on backwards and it's making goat noises. It's like, yeah, so? Like, yeah, it's weird. And? It's like, ugh.
All right. So
Yeah, but...
I think Wild at Heart is one of his movies he made.
Oh, yeah, with
So that was a big movie, came out in the 90s. Wild at Heart had Nick Cage. For some reason, me and my group of friends wanted to go watch that. And we went to the video store, because that's what you did back in the day.
I remember.
And we weren't sure the name of the movie. We knew it was Wild. We rented Wild Orchid instead of
I don't
Wild
know
at
what that
Heart.
is.
it's basically porn.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it's like
Me and like
Carrie Otis.
It's like me and like 2 or 3 guys sit down to watch this David Lynch movie. This is right around Dune time, so it's still like enjoyable.
So
to
how
watch.
old were you?
Oh, we were like, I mean, this is 90. This is probably like 92. We rented, so 18.
18, okay.
So 18-year-olds.
So it's believable for 18-year-olds wanted to start watch porn together, I guess.
Well, I mean, but we think like, man, David Lynch really changed it. We don't realize until a while into the movie.
Which is the one with Dennis Hopper and the is that Wild at Heart with Dennis Hopper as the oxygen tank and he has the rant about fuck Heineken, it's all about Pabst Blue Ribbon.
That
like
could
that's what
be.
American- that one's got its moments too.
It does, but now when you're watching Wild Orchid, you're like, man,
Turns out Wild Orchid's different.
Lynch just really got into porn. It's just you're all like, awkward. It was a very awkward moment. And then we finally realized it, and like a ways in.
It's
I did
awkward
watch
because it's
Bound
never.
So did you guys finish?
Well,
the
there was
movie?
no internet. There was no internet to double
Did they
check.
finish?
We watched a lot
He's
of
not
it.
answering either question.
I didn't hear the question. Sorry.
Did you
you
finish
finish?
the movie, and did you finish?
Oh, well, not as a group, no. And I don't remember if we watched all of it. We got pretty invested at some point because we're pretty confident this is wrong because there's no internet to double check. We're just like, okay, well, we thought this was the name of the movie.
Oh
And
my
then,
god,
yeah.
that's kind of amazing.
I rented Bound with like 3 of my buddies, and I mean that movie's amazing, but it also had some pretty hardcore lesbian.
Well, every
sex
guy
scenes.
watches Bound for a different reason.
I watch it for 2 reasons.
Well, no,
But one of those reasons I watch it alone. The other reason I watch.
But you didn't know, no one knew when you rented the movie that it was going to be good. You just watch it for the lesbians, and you go,
Yeah.
wait a minute, it's actually a good movie.
That's true.
I've never seen that movie either.
Bound is
Never
actually
heard of it.
super good. It's like a really good like mafia gangster, whatever kind of movie. Like these people fuck over the mafia and then they're going to try to kill them and stuff. But the people happen to be super hot lesbians. Well, they're not lesbians at the start, but they discover together how awesome it is to finger blast each other.
Okay then.
So, are they actually lesbians, or are they bisexual, or are they just curious?
One of them is a lesbian for sure, and then the other one is bisexual / curious. She has never been with a woman before.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
But yeah,
That makes
it's,
sense.
Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly.
I don't know who those people are.
Yes.
You know who Gina, you've seen
Google
Gina
it for
Gershon.
you.
Okay.
Gina Gershon, yeah, you've seen Gina Gershon.
I believe you. I just don't know who that is.
Do you ever see any? No, of course you haven't. Never mind. You've seen neither of these people ever.
I like Bound.
And Andy's back.
It was a Wachowski brothers movie.
Oh, I like them.
I just want to point out that the
Now the
second
Wachowski
hit
sisters.
was,
They
were brothers.
They were brothers at the time.
They were brothers, and then
Oh,
no,
they were
siblings.
brothers, and then
Siblings,
siblings,
now
and
sisters.
sisters.
Oh
yeah.
my.
They keep changing.
Oh my.
More power to them.
Sure.
Oh, she is really pretty.
Yeah, no, Jennifer Tilly is she's
yeah, I
adorable
recognize her.
and also extremely hot.
I do recognize her
Her
now that I've
most
seen
famous
her.
movies, of course, are Child of Bucky and Bride of Chucky.
Bride of Chucky.
And Bride of Chucky, and then also Child of Chucky.
Yeah.
Less famous for that second one.
She's yeah.
Seed of Chucky.
Seed,
Yeah,
that's
no,
what it was.
I didn't
said
like
I
those
knew-
movies. I thought they were really creepy when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's why they
The
were made.
first couple are really creepy, and then after that they become comedies.
They made a new one like a couple years ago that went back to the creepiness. Like
Sure.
a girl with a wheelchair got the doll, so it was more of a just a disturbing back to its roots
Interesting.
thing.
Cool.
I need to finish my game.
And that's Wild Orchid.
So,
2 shades of blue.
announcements? I guess
Yeah,
that's what that was.
that's the announcements.
That was an
David Lynch did not make
Did
Wild
not
Orchid.
make the movie Wild Orchid. All right.
We got a couple June events, right? Well, there's the Frankenstein's the 24th,
there's the
and then a Milwaukee one on the same weekend. Unfortunately, I think,
Nope.
because I got invited to it.
Nope, that got
Did it get
changed
moved? Okay.
after I posted my event.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
No, there's the Frankenstein event, the charity event that's happening on June 24th,
Okay.
which is basically you bring your models, whatever models from whatever army, into your army.
At same points and everything.
Same points.
So
Same
you
points,
pay $1
everything.
per point cost.
Correct.
So if you want to use a
Oh.
15-point model that doesn't belong in your faction, you got to donate
$15.
15 bucks to the charity.
Okay.
So some of those things like the choir or arcanist that are dirt cheap point wise,
Pretty good.
and are powerful.
Arcanists are not that strong. Nobody needs them.
So, who's the charity for?
Charity is for the YMCA
Okay.
in Madison here, so that'll go directly donated to there.
smells
There is a list of other type of donations that you can see on the Facebook page.
Okay.
If you want to donate stuff like that, we might try to figure out some kind of dollar value on there. But otherwise, cash is king.
And there's also rules clarification on there for some of the more fiddly rules things
Correct.
that people have been asking about.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
One person was asking about all the time, but yeah, no, there's pretty much anything. Anything that you would really think how it would work in a War Machine faction, that's pretty much how it would work in a War Machine faction.
And vice versa.
There's
Horde.
some timing issues. Like somebody had asked very specifically about how Athink works
Oh,
in,
yeah. That's a
in
good
a War
question.
Machine force.
Yeah.
So since I'm going to go into little rules here, sorry, Katie. So since the
Wait a minute, I have an interjecting question.
uh-oh.
Are they giving you receipts for your donations?
What do you mean? What?
The YMCA will give you a receipt for your
Yeah.
donation.
For
Yeah.
taxes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
Katie asked the accountant question. Carry on.
Okay. So now I lost all train of thought. Okay, so it's
Athink.
Athink basically what happens is after a
Bagrosh's role.
yeah,
Is this
Bagrosh. Yeah, I put this here.
It feels nice.
Yeah,
I know, right?
That was supposed to be for Dark Souls.
It's
but-
velvety.
I know.
Well, it's just a bed sheet. That's all it is.
It's a nice bed sheet.
Yeah.
Feels soft. Anyway, anything on
breathable?
Thagrosh.
So
it's a bed
normally
sheet.
in Hordes, after a Warlock breathes Fury, if you're not at full Fury, you just get all your Fury back.
Sure.
So in War Machine, it works slightly differently. It works as basically as after replenishing focus, it then replenishes focus.
Oh, so it would give you an extra focus?
It would help with like upkeeps, I think.
It would help for not even for upkeeps, because you pay for upkeeps after that
After that
point.
fact.
So the only thing that would actually prevent is, let's say, if you had something that prevented you from getting focus, such as
You could get one.
Iris. No.
I think in Mark III is all.
all.
Oh,
In
really?
Mark III, it's
up to full.
Oh.
He's always full.
I have not played my Legion in Mark III.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
So basically, if he gets hit with Iris 1, then he goes through the step of does not replenish,
Sure.
but then replenishes.
Oh, so it gets him around Iris.
Correct.
And that's about it.
Similar to like how
Does What's-His-Face's feet still do that, or did that change? Sebi.
Mosar?
Sebi
yeah.
had a feat where you didn't get your
Oh,
focus.
Sebi did the War Machine side, right?
Yeah.
Because Mosar was the Horde
back
side.
back in the day. I think Sevi's feet is completely different now
Mark
too.
III. Okay.
But yeah, it would get around Sevi's feet. It also like Iris can't get rid of soul tokens, and it's worded almost exactly like that. Is basically
Interesting.
after the caster replenishes focus, replace souls with this.
And Thagrosh would be free because he has no point cost.
No,
To put in your army?
technically, all casters are $25.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to put, if you're playing your Ret, and for some odd reason you want to put Thagrosh into your Ret force,
No, Kane 3.
well, if you want to put Kane 3 into your Ret force, then and give away your strats right away.
Speaking of Kane 3,
Yes.
can I pay $25 to have Kane 3 lead a dwarf army?
Yes.
Yeah, power up, bitches.
Oh, yeah, because normally he...
Nothing
yeah,
but gun bunnies.
gun buddies everywhere. Yep.
Yeah.
That's broken.
Ha!
Kane
It
3
really
is
is
pretty broken just with chargers, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. Well, gun bunnies are like half the cost
I'm
and
aware.
have powerful attack.
Yeah, I know.
No, don't the Chargers aren't they 5 points or something like that? No, I'm thinking galvanizers. Never mind.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Although-
Kane with a bunch of galvanizers.
Also good.
So that's our first announcement.
So anyway, first announcement. What else we got?
There is a Milwaukee event that's happening. I think that event that was going to be happening on the same weekend got bumped over to July.
Okay.
MomCon is next weekend. I have a Blood Bowl tournament. Everyone
wow.
should go to it. It's an amazing Blood Bowl tournament.
This coming weekend?
This coming weekend.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Which is also Memorial Day, right?
Yes.
Memorial weekend. Yep.
I have watched so many podcasts recently where it seems like it's our podcast, but I realize that it's just everyday things where everyone argues about Transformers being bad, about next weekend, things basically pretty much.
This weekend and next weekend. It's very obvious.
I know, but it's conversations like that. I just see it repeating everywhere, and it's not.
We're trendsetters. They listen to us first.
It's not us, but
yeah,
it's,
no, it is.
Nathan and I.
The Rooster Teeth people listen to us.
Yep.
Yep.
They're huge fanboys.
No,
Yeah.
no, they don't.
You don't know that.
They wear a shirt with my face on it.
It's true. If you were watching the Rooster Teeth podcast and Gavin had like an unplayable trash T-shirt,
Oh
you
my
would
god!
shit your pants.
You would shit your pants.
If you send it to him, he might.
I know. I kind of want to send it to him just to blow Andy's mind.
That would pretty much blow my mind.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I'll be in Dallas the next 4 days.
Oh, that's right. For your training. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Not Dallas Kemp. You'll be in
No.
Dallas, the state.
Maybe
right?
both.
Dallas is not a state.
Dallas
It's a state of mind.
Dallas is a city
Oh,
in
Whoa!
Texas.
Fuck, what just happened?
Geography,
Jeremy
bitches.
just corrected you on geography.
And was right.
Yes.
I correct people in geography all the time, but this time I was right.
It is.
I'm cheating a little in that I used to live in that state, but
Yeah.
still.
Dallas is
Doesn't
the
mean
one.
anything.
Houston.
Remember
I
when we
did
asked
too.
you what the capital of Wisconsin was?
Uh-huh. Green Bay, right?
Dallas is unfortunately like the only place in Texas where I have no friends or family.
Oh,
Like,
that's too bad.
Houston and El Paso and Austin, I know people.
Houston's only about 3 hours from Dallas, depending on where in Dallas you
so
are.
I'll do a 6.5 hour round trip.
You do an hour
No,
and a
you
half
make
each and meet in the
them-
middle.
yeah.
Sure.
It's a lot closer than Wisconsin.
It is.
It is a lot closer than Wisconsin.
But still. So that's exciting. Although it's kind of miserable, hot down there, and humid this time of year.
I mean,
but-
just Texas is terrible in general.
Yeah,
there's
it's
like
nice during the winter. When it's shitty here, Texas is really nice.
never shitty here.
No,
Okay, well.
It's shitty.
Worst
here
case,
a
it's
lot.
ice
You and I
fishing weather.
disagree.
this spring has been amazing so far, though.
Yeah.
I love the fact one day I'm turning on my air conditioner because it's 80 something outside, and then the next day I'm actually turning on the heat because it's fucking 40 outside.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, it's been kind of bananas, but that's okay.
But I enjoy it. This mild weather is the best. 40s, 50s, 60s.
I like this weather a lot.
I can live in this weather forever.
I like this weather a lot, but that's okay.
But I don't want it to rain all the time, so that's why I don't live in
That's the
Seattle.
thing. When it's 80 during the day and it's 60 at night and kind of drizzly, that's the best weather.
So California minus the drizzly.
60-degree drizzly night is the best.
I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I agree
And
with
then
that.
thunderstorms occasionally, and then sunny during the day.
I do
Night
like
needs
the
to be
thunderstorms.
60 and drizzly and thunderstormy sometimes, and day needs to be mid-70s sunny.
I'm going to disagree on the drizzly.
I like
Why do you
the
want-
drizzly
Drizzly's
because
nice.
you can hear it on the
Yeah,
window.
it's soothing,
like-
it's nice.
I like
No.
thunderstorms. Those are soothing and
I like
nice.
thunderstorms better. Yeah,
Yep.
agreed.
I went 70 and dry. I went.
So you should move to California.
Austin, or not,
No, it's back to
Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh, Arizona, same deal.
Australia.
Australia, also parts of Australia. The good parts, the habitable parts.
So not
All of
Australia.
Australia is habitable.
No. Depends.
Depends on how long.
Yeah, very temporarily.
And then we
have any
saw a movie.
announcements?
That's it for announcements. I don't think there's anything else upcoming.
I don't think so.
MomCon, Frankenstein event, Milwaukee event.
Boom.
Good on us.
Good on us.
There's always this tournament on the second weekend in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
whatever,
yeah,
fuck
but
'em.
meh. All right, so then you guys saw a movie.
We saw Alien Covenant.
Yes.
Alien.
What's that movie about?
Alien.
Did you ever see the Sigourney Weaver Alien movies?
Nope.
I
It's-
did
it's
at
about
least see
those.
those.
Oh, you haven't.
She has not.
Katie.
The
We need to do a movie night.
the first two are legitimately
At least-
incredibly good.
I
Are
would
they?
agree. I would
The
agree.
first
They are
one is one
legitimately
of the most celebrated horror movies of all time.
that even I enjoy.
Prometheus.
But I
No,
but
not
I
the first
know
one.
what the monster looks like though.
That's fine.
that doesn't matter.
You see the monster relatively early, like,
Yeah.
but it is
Yeah.
the first movie does a good job of you see it in flashes and little bits of it, but it's fine.
It's like Jaws in a sense, where
Yeah,
you don't really
know it
see
looks
the
like a shark, but it
Yeah.
doesn't matter that you know it looks like. Yeah, that's a perfect
That
example.
is a good example.
So Alien is one of the most important and best horror movies of all time, and
agree.
Aliens is one of the best and most important action films of all time. 'Cause,
I don't know if I agree with the second. I definitely agree with the first one.
like it was so groundbreaking for the time.
It was.
and
It
that
was.
makes it important.
That's fair.
Also,
Okay.
it still is amazing.
It is still- I still enjoy
the
it.
director's cut of Aliens is still one of the best action films you've
don't know
ever
if I've ever
seen.
seen the director's cut of it.
It's super good. It adds a couple key scenes.
Okay. I don't think I've seen
There's
it.
like
hard.
a
It's
huge-
hard not to see the director's cut of Aliens
Yeah.
anymore.
Yes.
There's a huge sequence at the very beginning showing you Newt's family and how they actually find
Maybe I
find the
saw. Maybe I've only
derelict ship.
seen the director's
And the whole
cut.
thing about Ripley with her daughter.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen the director's cut.
But whatever.
Ripley and her daughter, and awesome autocannon scenes.
Yes, and no awesome autocannon scene. So the director, you watch Aliens, you definitely watch director cut, and Alien 3 is a flawed movie that it's okay not to like, but the director's cut makes it a decent film that I very much like.
That's the one with the Prager's alien.
That's the one on the prison planet. No, the pregnant weird mutant
that like
crossbreed
4?
alien is 4,
Oh,
which
okay.
is trash.
I don't think I've seen 3. I've seen 4 and I've seen 1 and 2.
3 is on a prison planet. The nice thing that 3 does is it goes back to the first one, which is a shitload of unarmed people trapped someplace with one monster.
Okay,
So you go back to being a horror movie.
but it's less good.
I think it's just as good. I like the director's cut of 3 just as much as the first one, but I know I'm extremely in the minority, and I know that that's okay.
Okay.
I really like 3 a lot.
That's Charles
It's-
Dance in it.
Yes.
Tywin Lannister.
Oh, really?
He's in it.
Oh, wow.
Young and hunky, like a love interest.
What?
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
Okay.
Number 4 is frustrating because it's close to being very enjoyable.
That's how I remember 4.
It's got
It's like
good.
right-
It's got good dialogue. It's got some
What's
interesting
Joss Whedon?
points.
Number 4,
That's
it
why the
does
dialogue's so
Joss
good.
Whedon thing of being too wacky tongue-in-cheek sometimes. Like the Avengers are crack quips, and it works in a comic book
works.
movie. It works in a comic book movie. It doesn't work in a monster movie.
I
It
think
worked
it's-
in my mind.
In
That's
4,
why I,
I
like
felt
4.
like it worked, but
It's
I felt
too
like it was a
tongue-in-cheek.
flawed movie in other ways.
I mean, I like that element of it. It was just the creature was so stupid it ruined it.
Yeah.
The last
The
last-
newborn or the weird? Yeah, I mean it has tits. I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah, it just the last act is just
The last
stupid.
act is what destroyed
I
it.
would agree,
Basically,
the last act of that one. But it's
mercenaries-
good.
Had they made a movie just about the mercenaries
That
from
could've-
their absolute perspective, it would have been a great film. I
And
think.
if it was made like a decade or 2 later, I'm not sure the exact timeline, it could have been a tie-in movie because officially Firefly takes place in the same universe as the Alien films.
Oh,
Really?
On Serenity, there is the Wayland Yutani logo on several
Oh,
pieces
that's
of
right.
equipment.
I've seen that. Yeah.
They are in the Alien universe. They use Wayland Yutani equipment.
Huh.
Yeah.
There's also like Han Solo figurines.
Okay. So that universe is our reality in the future.
Yeah, and Wayland Yutani is our world in the future, so
okay.
Han Solo would be a movie character
Okay.
that would exist.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Star Trek, he listens to Beastie Boys because in the Star Trek universe, it's a different future. But yeah. Firefly has Wayland Yutani shit in it.
I would 100% agree. We should at least watch 1 and 2 with Katie. They're very much worth watching, which does not tell me anything about the movie when you guys saw it today.
But
The new one takes place 10 years after Prometheus.
which is a
I've
prequel.
heard Prometheus
It's
was
still
terrible.
a prequel.
I heard Prometheus was bad.
You have to watch Prometheus to understand Prometheus.
Prometheus loves the smell of its own farts. It is way up there. It's artsy fartsy.
That's too bad.
This movie makes me appreciate it a little bit more, but it's still offensive.
So
Yeah.
what's Prometheus about?
A
Basically,
bunch of stupid people being stupid, and then it sucks.
That is actually
That's not the
what
one
it
I
says
thought.
on the
pretty
box.
much it. It's basically it shows how much Wayland Yutani spends on people to go and do experiments and such. They go for the lowest bidder,
So,
and the lowest bidder is not very bright.
Prometheus is ostensibly a prequel to Alien.
Right, I knew that.
So, you see kind of an alien in it at the very, very end. Like, the last shot before the credits is kind of an alien. And to explain how stupid Prometheus is. So they find some black goo on a planet.
Sure.
A robot takes some of the black goo and puts it in a man's scotch. That man drinks the scotch and a goldfish grows in his eye. Then that man fucks his wife. A squid monster grows in his wife who has a cesarean from a surgery machine. That squid monster then latches onto the face of a giant translucent blue alien giant who then, because of being face raped by the squid monster, he splits open and that's where the alien comes from.
The fuck?
Well, it wasn't a true. The thing
Wait
is,
a minute.
it was alien-esque.
It was alien-esque. It wasn't even the same species. It had like human mouth and eyes and stuff.
Which they do pay off in the second movie because, Covenant.
But that's Prometheus.
That's Prometheus.
The fuck?
So wait a minute, I have a question. Why did the robot put black something in somebody's
He's-
drink?
Excellent question.
Yeah.
In Covenant, they retcon it to be that he's just insane. He's just a
The
crazy
robot's
robot.
insane.
The robot is
You kind of get some vibes that he's
So is
he's
it like
kind of
an
crazy.
Android robot?
It
He's an
is an
android.
android,
Yeah.
and in Prometheus they go a little more into him being specifically built differently to be more
Does he at least do the nice thing with his
self-aware. No, but he's more self-aware, more human, more encouraged to look into faith, look into the concept of God, look into this. So he's curious what would happen if this goo got into this guy. And turns out what happens is a fish grows in his eye, and then he puts a squid monster in his wife.
So wait a minute, I have a backup question.
You'll have lots of fucking questions. All Prometheus is
when
fucking
they built
questions.
when they built this android to be like, let's like he's curious about things. They also gave him no like ethics.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So the guy builds him to find out who God is so that the guy can tag along on like a 10-year mission with scientists who aren't told what their mission is. They're just like, you want to go on a mission? They go, sure, we don't need to know what it is. And then a decade later in the trip, they get told what the mission is by a holograph of the old man because the old man doesn't want them to know that he's on the ship, but he's really hiding on the ship the whole time. And so then his android is there to fuck with them so he can find out who God is. And then the guy's like, surprise, I'm really here. And then he dies anyway, so what the fuck was the point of that? And then they show a scene of him being really young, but the makeup's terrible for the old guy because instead of just getting a young actor and an old actor that look vaguely alike, they put really terrible old man makeup on somebody, so it's the worst thing ever. Also, like the translucent blue people, they like melt themselves into our water, and that seeds all life on our planet. And so that's why we look exactly like them, is because we're made from them. But then why don't squirrels look like them? Like why only us? But then yeah.
What?
So wait a minute, I have a question.
And then they leave a message to go to that planet, and that planet's where the goo is. And then we find like a holographic tape of them running away from the goo because the goo's scary for some reason. They don't really explain why they were running away from the goo.
It's a weapon.
Yeah, but then
It's a weapon.
So do people working at armories just randomly run away from the AK-47s?
Yep.
Scary.
It's very scary. The best, no, I don't think they actually hired to get a bunch of scientists to go there. They go and get like their assistants
Yes.
to go there with them on
But they
this.
still
on
don't
this
tell
big
any of
mission.
them why they're going on the mission until they're a decade into space, and
Correct.
none of them ask.
Yeah.
I think if they would have had a 5-minute window and the movie started, so we hired the dumbest people we could find and we sent them to space to see what would happen, that would have made the movie so much more fun to watch.
They have the map maker guy.
Okay, I wanted to do this.
Okay, you do that. Explain the map maker guy and the zoologist guy,
Yes.
because fucking switch those two.
So you have a map maker guy.
Sure.
So he's there to map out this derelict spacecraft, which
Sure.
is honestly not really very smart thing for him to do, because all he has to do is just get this little probe out and just press a button, and the probe just goes and maps it for him.
Yep.
Okay.
So they instantly have a map of this entire cave
And that was his whole
system.
job. They sent him to do that.
Right.
Yeah, that's his
and
job.
so he is now in constant contact with the ship, who has a map of the entire place.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you have the zoologist.
But what happens to that guy?
Oh yeah. Oh, the map maker guy. He gets lost.
After that, so he makes a map of the place with the people he's in constant contact with, and then he gets lost.
Wait a minute.
He gets lost with the zoologist, though.
Correct. And the zoologist stumbles upon they're over close to the black goo stuff, and
There's a dick snake.
Yeah, what's something, and he's looking at the black goo, and suddenly this thing pops up. It looks like a fucking cobra. It's even got the flayed out the sides on it. You're like, and what does the zoologist do? Like, oh, look at that thing, and then it bites him. What?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
believable.
He's a zoologist would not go. If it was the map maker guy going, ooh, that thing looks pretty.
And the zoologist's like, don't do that, because I understand the
Well,
concept that
no.
when a snake dick comes at you, you leave it alone. How are they lost?
Obviously, somebody is like, it'd be really funny if a map maker got lost, and somebody else is like, it'd be equally funny if a zoologist got bitten by a foreign animal, and they're like, let's make a movie about it.
So
And then that's
it's
what
got
happened.
the challenge is it's got a lot of good actors. Charlie Theron plays like
I knew it was really-
Michael
she's like the
Fassbender's
daughter.
in there.
Michael Fassbender does a good job, even though he's crazy. I love Michael Fassbender, even when he's bad.
Why is she his daughter?
She's the daughter of like the rich guy, and she's
Why?
there over
Of Wayland.
because he needs,
I know, like,
Well,
why? Like, when you write it, you're like, I'll make her the daughter, and then
Well-
have it never matter.
Well, I mean, only that I don't care about, because she tried to. She was always trying to be the best at everything to impress him. And her whole point was she was supposed to be very, very smart, and she was smart. At the end, the ship is crashing at her. Basically, a donut is rolling at her, and she just runs away from the donut instead of like, turning left or right. So she gets to run over.
And she's smart.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Very bright.
But at least a fish doesn't grow in her eye.
Yeah.
Are we sure it's a fish?
Yes, it's a goldfish. Like a common goldfish you would get from PetSmart. They didn't even have an alien fish grow in his eye. It's a fucking goldfish.
Wait a minute, I have a timeline question.
Yeah.
So, if it was a robot that humans built that got the infestation of the goo,
Yeah.
then how are we descended from
No,
the
so
blue people?
blue people come to Earth when there's no life. One of them injects something in himself, jumps in some water, melts. That's where all life on Earth comes from.
Okay.
So then we find we find in caves a constellation carved on the wall, and that constellation we figure out guides us to this planet. This planet, which is just a weapons storehouse. It's not like where the aliens come from. It's just where they store their black goo that murders everyone.
But that's where they decided
So,
to write the map
this-
to.
That's where they have the map guide us to. We get there, stupid people get lost and fucked by snakes. The alien takes some of the black goo and puts in the guy's scotch to say, YOLO,
the
let's see
robot.
what
Not
happened.
the
Or the
robot.
robot.
Android,
The
not the
robot
alien.
does that, yeah.
Obviously.
Then they find one of the aliens that's still there, the giant blue loincloth monster aliens, not the face hugger aliens. Because remember, you don't see the xenomorph aliens till the last frame when
all.
it pops out of that guy.
Right.
So you see the giant dude, and he's like, I'm going to murder all the humans that we guided here for some reason. So there's no motivation for him. He just wakes up and starts murdering people.
Okay.
And so then while he's trying to murder him, that's when he like chases her into this room, and that's where she had put the squid monster that she had cesarean out after her fish-eyed husband had impregnated her with it.
I think it's the goo is actually the reason why that it made the goldfish. Now I'm analyzing the film a little bit more. It's probably that black goo that's how it got created.
Yeah, the goo, like again in Covenant, they go into this a little more that the goo fucks with your DNA.
Yeah.
But in every other sequence, it has caused shit to like. If the goo made the squid monster grow inside the guy, fine. Okay.
Sure.
But why a normal Earth goldfish grows in his eye, and he just goes like this, and the goldfish comes out of his eye into a glass, and he's fine.
How
It's like
big is this
that was
goldfish?
weird. Like it's big. It is big. It is not a teeny tiny little guppy.
I literally cannot remember that. I think I blacked that out.
It is golf ball sized. Like it's bigger than his eye. Like he's like, oh, there's something behind it. He does this, and a goldfish falls onto
And
a
he just
glass,
goes back
and it's
to work.
bigger than
He just
that.
goes
And then he
back
just
to
goes back to work and then bangs his wife later. Like, meh, that'll happen.
Maybe he's on drugs and he thought
Maybe
that was
maybe he stores goldfish in his eyes as a secondary plot that was cut.
Yeah, that's
and
normal.
had nothing to
it was
do.
completely unrelated
Yeah.
to the black goo.
Yeah, it was
like if the squid grows in him, I'm more okay with it because then
Sure.
the goo fucked with his DNA. It made a monster. Right? It didn't make an Earth goldfish, and then he's fine, but then he impregnates his
So we
wife with a
saw
monster.
that movie and said, "Hey, as a good idea, let's go see the
next
sequel."
one. Yeah. Okay. So I
right.
question all of your decision-making capabilities, but how
Yep.
was the sequel?
The director of the first one apologized for it, so we got that.
So the other thing, though, too, is this movie came out 4 years ago,
Yeah.
I think. So we've given enough time to
Forget it exists.
forget it exists. No, not really forget it exists. But honestly, when we
Recover.
first started seeing commercials for Alien Covenant, at least for me, I'm like, oh my god, this looks like more of this. Oh no. It's the same fucking robot!
Same robot, same thing. People go on a planet and take their fucking space helmets off and just trounce around and get infected by microbes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the new one is Earth is 10 years later. It's just people are on a colony ship being sent out. There's like a crew of like 15, like 2,000 colonists, and there's like a space accident, so they get knocked out of like hyperspeed. And then they, as they fix the ship, they pick up the signal from this rogue planet that's off course. So they go,
The survivor of the first movie.
Yeah.
They pick up
Okay.
her signal.
So they decide to go investigate it. Because,
Sure.
why not? Because
why wouldn't you?
Well, because they're like, why would there be a human out here? It's kind of weird. And, and they're looking for and the planet appears to be habitable, so they want to...
Other than the fact that the
It's-
one person on it is
They get it.
terrifying.
They get the distress. It's not even a distress signal. It's her singing John Denver. Like, it's her singing Country Road, Take Me Home.
What?
So, yeah. So they go, well, she was singing it as she landed on the planet after escaping from the first movie.
Okay.
So it's a distress call, and it's a habitable planet that's 8 years closer than
where they were
continuing
going.
to where they're going. So,
Okay,
win-win.
sure.
Yeah, and there's some other... Yeah, exactly. So they go there.
Okay.
And exactly. They get there, and it looks habitable. So they're wandering around. Like I said, he takes off his... You'd think they would scan a planet a bit closer, but whatever. They wander around.
They couldn't because of all the
ions.
there was
No.
ion storms.
That's true, although just wait in space for the iron storm to clear. Like, they land
They-
through a
they had-
hurricane.
they had to get
It's
there
like,
right there and-
just wait a week. Like,
Yeah.
you already had 7 years you were allotted. Like, just
Yeah.
wait a week for that iron storm to not be there. Also, there's a whole planet. Land on the other side.
Also
Well, they
that.
wanted
no,
to
they're
get
going
close.
for the distress
They're
signal.
going
So
for the
just wait a
distress
week
signal.
for the storm to go away.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was very confusing to me. Like, why go through the hurricane when you're already in space?
And the reason why they couldn't land near the distress beacon was because of there is basically a whole bunch of mountains there.
Yeah.
They couldn't actually land a ship there.
Sure, but land where they're going to land, but just wait till there isn't a hurricane.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying.
And there's another robot version of Michael Fassbender. It's a different robot,
robot.
but it's like a third or fourth gen. But 10 years
it's-
later.
Of the
Wait.
robot that wants to find God.
Same actor.
Same actor, different robot. though.
Different-
Like, yeah.
His name is Walter. The old one was named David.
Fuck him being named Walter, by the way. Fuck him for being named Walter. He should have been named Edgar or Edward or some other
Yeah,
name that
something
starts
with
with an
an
E. Because the first android in the series is named Ash. Spoiler: Ash is an android. The second one in the series is named Bishop. The third one is Call. The fourth one is David. They had a pattern going. It should have been something
not.
with an E. But what I read on the IMDb, and this is somebody just pulling shit out of their ass to not be angry like I am, is that W is the fourth to last letter in the alphabet.
Correct,
So because he's David's opposite, he's the opposite letter of the
Oh my
alphabet.
God, no.
No, and I read that too. And
That
it's-
makes me less angry. It's
Yeah.
dumb, but at least it's something instead of just randomly breaking a pattern.
It does create its own pattern because this robot is not as he's a normal android. He's like a good
Yep.
android. He's
Okay.
helpful. He's,
He's
not
helpful.
murderous.
He does what the humans tell
He
him to
would
do.
not
he does his duty.
feed goo to people.
Okay, good, I guess. Sure.
And then they meet David, and he murders all of them. The end.
Yeah, basically, it turns out when they got to this planet, David it was the home, like one of the home planet of those blue aliens.
Sure.
And he basically dropped the black goo on a planet, and he spent like the last 10 years studying how the black goo infected different creatures.
What?
He has been perfecting the black goo because
Wow.
he's just waiting till more humans show up so that
he can
he
kill
can
them.
just kill them all.
Wow.
He's decided that humanity doesn't need to exist and that this life form is the new dominant life form in the universe, and he's gonna help it.
Okay then.
But there's
So at least he's a villain now instead of
Yeah.
this random shit. Like, I'm okay with
That's
that. This
true.
is some people are doing stuff. They go to a place. There's a villain who fucks them over, and they all die. Like that, I can live with.
And that's-
there's no goldfish in eyes. There's no
Yeah.
random stupid shit.
And a couple people get infected, and their first version of aliens are a little bit different because how they were infected. 'Cause
Yeah.
they were, and then David had created the face hugger as his evolution. He had a
Oh, okay.
actual face hugger who infects a person, so you actually see the first true
first
alien.
true face
David
hugger
is
alien.
the first true
He
xenomorph.
refined the black goo to the point of creating
Face
he
huggers.
creates the face hugger.
Okay.
So prior to that, in Prometheus and the first couple people in this one are more natural infections
Sure.
from like the liquid or from spores or whatever, and so that's just it does, or from squid monsters that come out of a
Sure.
woman after
But
her.
obviously.
Well, that is an obvious
Yeah.
life chain of event.
Yeah, I mean, It just holds together.
And actually, it looks pretty cool, and it's pretty violent. It's got some good kills. It's it's enjoyable. And then, of course, there's two androids that look alike, so it's all the switcheroo.
So that's all the switcherooness,
So they
yeah.
think they leave, and they're happy with the writing. And as the audience, you obviously know. You don't see it happen, but you know they switch.
The greatest twist in cinematic history could have been theirs, and that twist would have been. So David and Walter are fighting,
Sure.
and then one of them comes running out, and it leaves with the rest of the survivors. Like, I'm Walter, guys.
Yeah.
No, he can't do that.
Oh yeah, he can't wave because he's a bit fat hand. He's like, I'm Walter, guys. I'm totally Walter. And then they get on the and they get on their ship, and then somehow, after Walter gives an injection to one of the people, that person explodes into another monster. How on earth did that happen, Walter? And then surprise twist, it was David. The greatest twist in cinematic history would have been if that was Walter. Like, it was such an obvious fucking thing that was David. It was like, oh, I'm seriously Walter. Sorry, guys. I would have shit my pants.
Just ends happy.
It just ends happy.
Yeah, they just escape. Although, the trailer shows 2 people dying, and then those people aren't dead with 10 minutes left in the movie, and you're like, oh, well, I guess they didn't get away.
Yeah. That'll happen. Interesting. Well, it sounds like you guys enjoyed it.
Way
at least.
better than
If I
Prometheus.
made a horror movie, I would film every single character's death, but I wouldn't. It wouldn't be part of the movie. And this that way in trailers, you'd see it, and you watch the movie, that person would die. You're like, what's happening? Just
That would be actually kind of
That would be actually really
yeah.
good.
You film every character's
You could also
death.
do Clue style.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just have, different people die
Yeah.
depending on, third wheel.
Depending on location.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
Or
talking to...
showing.
Or showing. That would be even better.
We're showing,
But it
yeah.
was
So the
the
next,
deal-
the next
The
time they
next
show
group
the
to come
film,
in,
it's
yeah.
it's a completely different.
But the
Even
alien-
just the individual theaters within the theater, yeah.
Oh, ooh,
But
wow.
Alien Covenant was kind of a fun movie. It was enjoyable. I mean, it was building up for me. It was building off a flawed concept, but they did a lot with it.
Yeah.
And they made it. David was interested. The alien creatures were done
And apparently
well.
there's an acceleration. Like, Ridley Scott wanted the second one to still be Prometheus-y, and he didn't want you to see the xenomorphs from the
Yeah.
classic series. He wanted to save that for the third of this trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There's
people were
another
so angry about Prometheus that he accelerated it and moved the xenomorphs into the second one, so
think-
it would feel more like an alien film.
I think it was well done. I mean, this one, like Brian said, it made me appreciate Prometheus more. Like I said when I got out of it, I almost wanted to watch it again. Just, but I mean,
Sequels can help or hurt the previous movie. I think Matrix 2 is a flawed movie. Matrix 3 could have been good and made Matrix 2 better. And this movie doesn't. I mean, Prometheus is almost a lost cause, but it does add a little bit of credence to it, and it's it's still.
So is there going to be a third movie still?
I believe there still is, yeah.
it beat out Guardians this week.
It actually, but
already.
it made very little money. It made less than 50 million. It was a very
How is
low.
that true if it beat out Guardians?
Well,
It's
Guardians,
Guardians, like, third week.
yeah.
Well, right, but I mean, Guardians, I would think would still be putting up big numbers, even
Most
though
It is. I mean, it's still the second biggest film.
Yeah.
It, this
Okay.
opening
movies
weekend-
really only make money the first few weeks now. They really
Yeah,
start
that's true.
furthering
Remember,
out.
the first Guardians, when it came out, was number one, number 2, then back to number 1. It dipped
yeah.
for something else's first. I think it was TMNT's first week.
Ugh.
Possibly.
Beat Guardians'
embarrassing.
third week. But it had that spurt, and then it just died.
Okay, that's fair.
And this is, I mean, honestly, it's got decent reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It's a solid film. I hope it does well. I would like to see, like a true prequel to Alien. But
The only problem with this movie, because Ridley Scott decided to make more alien movies, is Neil Blankenheim, who did District 9, was on tap to do an alien
Alien
movie.
5.
And, an actual Alien 5 movie. Blomkamp or whatever
Neil
his name.
Blomkamp.
And he had a bunch of storyboards. His initial things he put out was amazing, and now
Oh, that's
that
too
movie
bad.
will probably never happen
That's too
because of Alien, because of
he
Ridley
gets
Scott.
fucked
becoming
over
more-
with making really good concepts of films, and then because
Yeah.
he was originally slated to do a Halo film.
Yeah.
And then he got fucked over, and then he went. I think he made District 9 because of that. And
Well,
then,
at least we got District 9.
Yeah.
yeah,
District 9 was good.
and then Alien. I think there was another one that he's done too. That he's come up with a lot of good ideas, and just no.
What's fun is after it's been a while, rewatching District 9 and remembering how hard of a left turn it takes in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
drama, and then everyone starts exploding.
Yeah.
Like, it just goes full fucking Rambo.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Kingsman does that.
At least it has some action scenes
Yeah.
before that.
Yeah, but it does.
Yeah, but it does say it's a ridiculous.
It does accelerate the ridiculousness
their
a
heads
lot.
Explode in like purple.
Yeah, well, I
sparkles.
mean,
Sure.
it take as soon as you get to the church scene in that movie.
It just
Yeah.
accelerates
the
from there.
church scene makes sense, and then it turns into
Yeah.
nonsense.
Well, so, yeah, okay, the silliness comes out of nowhere,
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
action comes
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
nowhere.
Well,
Yeah, the
because
last
it's-
moment
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of silliness in the last like 10 or 15 minutes of that movie.
I love that movie so much.
That's a good movie.
No,
I'm
I'm not-
super
Yeah,
excited
I
for the
know.
sequel.
The sequel looks fun.
I
The
hope it's
trailer is
good.
promising.
As I told Nathan, I find it weird in a film where Mark Strong is a good guy. Because I'm so used to him being always a bad guy.
Rock and roll, he's a good guy.
Yes.
He's kind of better.
And that movie is awesome, too.
I did. You would appreciate this, Brian. So on the way home, Raylene and I were talking about this, and she mentioned that it felt a lot like the first movie, as a horror and everything like that. And I mentioned it's interesting time wise. Like if this and Alien had come out at the same time, would the other one? Was it just time? Like is Alien actually better than this, or is it whatever?
Or is it, just old?
But the main point is she was like, yeah, and they do the thing where they have a strong female lead, and I'm like, what are you talking about? The hero, David, was not female. She did not understand.
What other
She
movie
didn't
were we
appreciate-
talking about?
Well, in Aliens, it's a very strong.
In the original trilogy,
the original Aliens.
in the original 4 movies, Sigourney Weaver is the hero.
Right. Yep.
And in this one, it is a tradition in the Alien films to have a strong female, and it was groundbreaking for Alien.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like it was a surprise that she was the main.
No
hero.
one expected her to be the hero.
Like they built up Dallas, the captain. You got this big manly beard, and I got a gun, and I'm the guy. And like no.
Yeah, it was very twisty.
Good old Ripley.
Ripley.
And
I think we all liked it though.
Yeah, it sounds like positive reviews all around.
Liked it way fucking better than Prometheus.
Yeah.
That's a pretty low
feel,
bar.
I feel
Yes.
I kind of feel you almost still need to watch it before watching this one. You don't exactly, but it will
Is
help.
it a first season of Parks and Rec situation?
You've never seen it. You
I
can't
know.
give that analogy.
I love that
So
analogy.
yeah, well,
What it is it's a Star Wars Episode 1 to Episode 2 thing. Like, if you just skip to Episode 2...
You're pretty confused.
Not really. You miss out who Qui-Gon Jinn is,
Sure.
right? And you don't know how this guy met Anakin, but okay, so he and
But
Anakin
2
are
is
friends,
a
that's
much
fine.
worse movie than 1.
That's true, but my point is, like...
That is a bad analogy.
That is a
way.
fucking bad analogy. Like, if you didn't watch Prometheus, you'd be like, why is there a planet of giant blue people?
yeah,
And
the whole premise of the whole plot is all in Prometheus.
Yeah.
For this film.
So that would be
Prometheus
confusing then.
is unenjoyable, required background information for this
It's
movie.
a very pretty movie.
it is,
The
yeah.
first one or the second one?
Prometheus is very
Prometheus.
visually well done.
Ridley Scott definitely visually, like, he's one of the most talented directors. His visuals are always stunning.
He needs to find better makeup people because the old man makeup was the worst. That was actually the really annoying thing because I think it was Prometheus came out and then they had old man makeup on some superhero film or something like that came out soon after that, and it was night and day. Like or even it was even a cheap film or something like that had old man makeup that
It was
looked
just way better.
amazing.
Dude, commercials
compared
for the
to-
Gap have better old man makeup. Like it
Yeah.
was terrible.
It was really bad.
That's too bad.
Oh my god.
They put
But-
baby powder in his hair.
It'd be nice if they
Just the
if they
wrinkle,
did.
Pretty much. Yeah.
If somebody came up with like a fan cut of it that maybe helped clear it up, if you could find a fan cut of it, it might be better.
I mean, I think we got the background.
Yeah. I got the gist.
yeah.
It is fun to watch some of the action sequences in there, though.
Jamie, for the first time, finally saw Shaun of the Dead yesterday.
Yeah, I
So
finally
it's-
saw Shaun of the Dead, speaking of...
Did you enjoy it?
I did. very
And they
much.
watched all of Legion, so they're getting all current.
You got caught
Oh
up on
my gosh,
Legion.
Legion.
Yeah.
Including the thing after the credits in the last
Yeah.
episode?
Yes.
Okay,
I
good.
have not seen any of Legion except for
What?
the first
What?
It
episode.
is super good.
You should watch Legion.
It was
The
not. what I
Shays are ahead of
expected
you
at
on TV.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Fucking oh my god, Aubrey Plaza in that show.
So
all.
Brian
Oh,
came
she's
over...
amazing.
all the Emmys.
She's just absolutely unbelievable. So Brian came over to our house to teach us Feast of Odin, and he was getting ready to go home. And Katie and I are like, "Oh, we're going to watch the rest of Legion because we watched
They
part
were
of
at
it."
5 and on.
Brian thought we had seen through episode 3, and so he was just going to go home because he thought we were about to watch episode 4. And we were like, "No, we already saw 4. We're about to watch 5." He's like, "I'm staying."
His exact words were like, "I'll watch
for
5 all day
episode
long."
5.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why
5
you
and
guys were
6
late?
and oh,
No, this was like
5 just takes
Last
a
night, 2 nights
very creepy turn.
the
Yes.
further the series goes, the more amazing Aubrey Plaza is. And
Yes.
so
You know what I like about this was something we were talking about after he stayed for 5. Every episode is filmed in a different style.
oh yeah.
Which is
it's
amazing.
one of the most stylistic TV shows.
So like
It's-
1 is like Bollywood, 5 is like a horror film.
Yeah.
They've got the silent.
got a silent film
in
the
there that's
silent
also
film
with
that's
the creepiest
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You should watch Legion,
It's
Andy.
No, it's on the DVR waiting for me.
Yeah, you should watch that
It
tonight.
doesn't take very long to watch.
Just 8
either.
episodes.
Yeah, I know. And then also, right now it's marathoning. My DVR is marathoning into the Badlands.
Yeah.
That one I haven't seen.
Watch all Legion first.
Oh, Legion's
but you should now see the rest of the Cornetto trilogy.
What's the Cornetto trilogy?
Shaun of the Dead is
Sure.
the zombie movie.
Sure.
So it's basically the same director, the same actors. It's
Right.
an ensemble thing.
Yep.
You have Shaun of the Dead as the zombie movie,
Hot
Hot
Fuzz.
Fuzz is the cop film, and World's End is the sci-fi flick.
I don't think I've seen either of the other two. Well, I hadn't seen Shaun of the Dead either, so that makes some sense.
Right.
Katie
But,
said she saw Shaun of the Dead, but did not enjoy Hot Fuzz because to her it was much more of a boy movie.
So I enjoy Shaun of the Dead more than Hot Fuzz because I enjoy zombie movies more than buddy cop movies.
Sure.
Like, and I imagine that it's a similar thing, and that what you're saying is, it's a boy movie. Yeah. I mean, it definitely is a buddy cop movie. It's
Okay.
a guy film, but it's just like Shaun of the Dead. It kind of subverts it a bit.
Just
Yeah.
like Bad Boys 2.
Just like Bad Boys 2.
Just like Bad Boys 2.
Point
or-
If you like Point Break or Bad Boys 2,
I love Point Break.
You'll love
so much.
Hot Fuzz.
You know who else
the
likes
original
Point Break? Yeah.
Let's not be
Yeah,
ridiculous.
this was prior to the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Point Break so
Yeah,
much.
no, you'll like Hot Fuzz.
Okay. So I'll have to watch Hot
And
Fuzz.
just watch all three, and then World's End as well. And yeah,
Very
I like
cool.
World's End a lot too. I think it's my second favorite. I like it more than Hot Fuzz. It's underappreciated.
I still like Hot Fuzz more than World's End. World's End
You've
is
probably
fun.
seen it 10 times as many times as well, though.
I've seen World's End a few times.
Oh, okay.
It's fun on HBO.
Well, I'm excited
Hot
to see
Fuzz
him.
might have the funniest single word punchline ever, though.
Yarp.
Yarp.
Hot Fuzz has the advantage of being free on Netflix right now. I don't know about
Hot
World's
Fuzz
End.
has the Hounders.
The who?
Yeah, the Hound.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Sandra
that's
Clegane
amazing.
is in it.
That's fantastic.
He's great in it.
He
I'll have to
says
watch it.
yarp a lot.
Yarp.
That's fair.
I saw something
Yarp.
on Game of Thrones where he yarped during like a show.
Yeah, an interview with like him and
some random person.
he and what's the fuck Maisie Williams. Like
Yeah.
they apparently are real close friends in real life because they spend so much time filming together.
Yeah.
That makes
Sure.
sense.
And yeah,
That part is, I guess it's not
Yarp.
really that much in the book, but I
yarping?
enjoy. Yeah, well, no.
Ari and the Hound.
Ari and the
nowhere
Hound.
near as
no,
much.
it's nowhere near
Okay.
as big. But it's still a thing in the book.
I really enjoyed Ari and the Hound.
Oh, yeah.
They did a good
throughout
job with
the,
it.
the show. That was that and Ari and the Hound versus.
So you know when the "I will eat every fucking chicken in this place" scene?
Correct.
That's like 2 episodes into
Yeah.
their buddy cop. That's where it ends in the book.
Yeah.
It ends
That's
pretty
what
much
Jim
there.
Jim had mentioned that. yeah.
And so they just took it. They're like, "No, we're gonna have it last like a season and a half."
No, they're
This is
just
the
really
greatest
good
thing.
together. Let's just let them travel together.
It was
Yeah.
so good. I loved it.
No
And then-
regrets.
Oh, and then the sword fight between the Hound and
Brienne.
Brienne.
Is a really good.
Also
fight.
and I know
good.
that's not in the book as well.
It's
They
not.
never meet.
I was
It's just-
upset when it happened, but then it was good, and I
Well,
forgave
it was just well filmed.
it was well filmed, yeah. So I forgave it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I have come to terms with the fact that the show and the books are different, and that's okay.
Yep.
They are not. It's not a situation where one is good and one is bad. They are just purely different.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes the books differently than the show gets.
He already
finished.
said he's planning to.
I know. You can scoot closer.
You know,
No, I
you-
can't.
every time you pull the
Oh,
microphone,
that's true.
I can move over a little bit. Every time you pull the microphone closer to you, you back up.
Because everyone just separates from Katie.
Bye, Katie. But yeah, so we watched that. We actually watched Passengers recently too, Katie and I.
Yeah,
Which,
I actually
which I
really
thought was
liked
way
the
better
movie,
than the
yeah.
tomato. The tomato reviews for it, Rotten Tomatoes, are not good.
And I liked it.
But I really liked it.
I like it as well.
I thought it was
I
solid.
thought it was really well done. I thought Chris Pratt wasn't just like Andy from Parks and Rec.
But was he Star-Lord?
No, because Star-Lord is Andy's fantasy of what he himself is in the sci-fi movie.
Sure. Fair enough.
But I thought he was really good. And the what turned everyone off is the creep factor of him waking her up. What I told Katie is, I wouldn't make it a year. He made it, what, a year and 2 months or something, he says? There's no way I make it over 6 months without waking somebody up. I'm just like, nope, I'm waking somebody up.
Well, I mean, in reality, he would have woken someone up or he would have committed suicide.
Yep.
One of those two things would have happened.
Yep.
Like,
That's
those
just
are
a fact.
I just thought of the most amazing teaser that they could put at the end of the next Guardians of the Galaxy film. Because they filmed like 5 of them for this recent one.
Yeah, they had like 5 this last
Yeah.
movie, which was a little excessive, by the way. But
They should just have
Yeah.
a sequence where he just wakes up next to Aubrey.
Yeah,
that would be
He's like,
fantastic.
I had the most amazing dream. I was in space.
He'd have to get fat for it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he
Well,
was skinny by the end of
was
part.
skinny by the end.
Because he stopped drinking beer
Stopped
for a month.
drinking beer.
Yeah,
He was in shape for the last.
But can you imagine that
Oh my
that
God.
sequence? Oh my god.
I would laugh
That would
my
be-
ass off. That would be amazing. But yeah.
I'm surprised nobody has thought of that yet to do that.
Maybe they might have thought
I know
of
it's a
it.
fan
yeah.
theory that, you know, Star-Lord is just Andy's fantasy life. Like, there's a fan theory out there about that I've seen.
And they did it for Breaking Bad, so, you know, at least
Correct.
we got that.
Yeah. But anyway, so we enjoyed. We've been watching several like movies and TV shows last week or so.
Describe the
Really?
movie
And I
you
also went
guys
and saw-
tried to get me to watch.
Okay, Okay, so I went to Jeremy had a bad week last week, so I went to Family Video and I rented 4 videos, and I rented Solace, which has Anthony Hopkins and Colin Farrell in it, and I asked the guy at the front desk if it was good, and he was like, "Yeah, it is." So then
You're there actually giving them money for something.
well, I got a free movie, and
She
so
had a free movie, so
I
she
was
was like,
thinking between that and Split, but I didn't know if Jeremy would actually watch Split.
Oh,
so
Split's good.
I believe you.
So anyway, so he was like, "Yeah, it's good." So then we read it on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's about a psychic detective, Anthony Hopkins.
Already, you're like, what?
No. He's not a psychic. He is a psychic who a detective friend convinces to help him with a case.
Yeah, and they're trying to catch a psychic murderer
Psychic criminal who's Colin Farrell.
who's Colin Farrell.
And Brian was like, nope.
It did not get great reviews.
It did not
on
get
Rotten
great
Tomatoes.
reviews.
So it was like a 27%.
Psychic, like see the future, or like
see
make
the
things
fu-
levitate?
No, like see the future.
Or like connect with things.
So do they just like both sit in unrelated rooms and just see what
And
the other
just
one's gonna
see
do,
yeah, basically.
and never bother to get out of their
Well,
chair?
okay.
It's got Jeffrey D. Morgan in it,
Yeah.
too.
I mean, it's got a lot of good actors
Well,
in it.
apparently, Colin Farrell is a better psychic because he is always ahead.
He's always one step ahead, according to the review.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how?
He sees the future better.
We haven't seen the movie
haven't
yet.
seen the movie, so
Brian
we don't
didn't wanna
know.
watch it with us.
Oh, like,
Wait, so
I'm
you
just-
got it and you didn't even watch it?
Well, no,
did
we get it. We have it till Wednesday,
We have
and
it till
we
Wednesday.
watched Legion yesterday instead of.
Oh, okay.
Katie rented 4 because I was in a bad mood and she didn't know what I'd
I'm
want
just
to watch.
imagining the whole movie is like the finale of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, where they tell each other what they're gonna do after they win,
Yeah.
and that's how they win, is by when they win, then they'll make it so they win,
Yeah.
and that's what the psychics will have to do.
Basically.
It's like, I
I
knew
don't
you
know.
were going to put me in handcuffs, so I had the key here, but I knew you'd had the key, so I did this instead, but
yeah.
I knew you'd do that, so I did this.
Yup. That's only it's Colin Farrell and Anthony Hopkins. And at the end of the day, I've never seen Anthony Hopkins do a bad job. So like I want to give it a chance.
So I've seen him in bad movies, but he usually
right,
is,
but he's always good.
Right.
He's getting old, and Nathan and I, we talked about this on our way back to
got
the
bills
theater.
to pay.
Yeah, he's got bills to pay.
What bills?
What bills do you have when you've been Anthony
He's-
Hopkins' acting
He's
career?
got grandchildren to feed.
you don't know how
but
much
he
hookers
just
and
did-
blow he does.
He
That's
just
true.
did Westworld, and that was a phenomenal show.
And
But we
he
don't know how
could
much money he
tear
got for
through. You don't know how expensive cocaine and prostitutes are.
I mean, Brian
feel-
does.
Yeah, Brian, how expensive are they?
Pretty well. It depends on the quality and where you are. It really depends on your location.
It's cheaper in Madison. Is that what you're saying?
Arctic Circle, I said bogus. I specifically said bogus journey. Trying to correct me, say bogus journey, not excellent adventure. You rewind this podcast, future viewers. I said bogus
Hold on
journey.
to
Well, I feel like you put them both together.
Excellent Adventure, they do a similar thing where they plant the key to get out of jail, and they have to call to distract him so they can go through. But Bogus Journey is when they plant the gun, and then they take the bullets out of the gun, and then he has the cage, and they have the key to the cage. Don't fucking try to catch me. I watched the animated series, motherfucker.
Well, just because you know doesn't mean you didn't misspeak.
I didn't misspeak. I paused, and I made sure I said Bogus Journey. But maybe because I paused, I overthought
Yeah.
and said, make sure you don't say Excellent Adventure, and then I said Excellent Adventure. But in my head, I made sure I said Bogus Journey.
So in your head, you were right.
I think I said Bogus Journey.
The other day, I was at
Yeah,
Quiznos.
non-Euclidean Nick backed me up. I'm a winner. Fuck you, Arctic Circle.
I was gonna say the other day I was at Quiznos and I ordered a 4-inch
love you,
sandwich,
though.
but I actually ordered a 12-inch sandwich.
That was probably more than you needed.
Is there a Quiznos still around?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
right
by
over
the
by our house.
Yeah,
Oh, that one's still there? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't remember seeing Quiznos.
It's like a Subway, but it costs twice as much.
Yeah. And
I caught it when she brought out the bread.
And then it was way too big.
That was 4-inch.
Wait.
What did I
wait.
say?
But yeah, so we had a movie
How would
weekend.
you not watch the Psychic Detective movie?
We're gonna
I mean, we
watch
might
it.
still.
gonna be
We've got it through
terrible.
What do you mean
Wednesday.
we might still.
Apparently, we are going to. I'm going to have to drink.
All right.
drink every single time they mention something about psychics.
Oh God, I'll
But
die.
we have that one and Bad
Or if they do
Moms.
this.
Yeah, we have that Bad
They
Moms,
touch their temple.
which I've legitimately heard is really good, and
one?
Bad Moms. It's the
Oh, okay.
Kristen
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis and
It's pretty.
Kristen-
It's a funny
yeah.
movie.
And then Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Which I heard wasn't very good, but it seems like.
But I've heard it
something
was
we
like
can
kind of a
watch.
goofy movie. Yeah.
Not irrational, non-Euclidean Nick. I explained it.
Nathan's arguing with the internet.
I hate David Lynch because he's trying to recapture his natural creativity of his original films in forced masturbatorial fake artistry.
Do you know that when you talk to the camera instead of us, it's like you're on your phone?
I'm talking to him.
Yeah, I don't care about him though. He's not.
I don't
here.
care. Fine.
People on your phone aren't here either.
But you don't get us the sweet views.
Huh?
She might now.
But not for this episode.
Oh, not for this episode. That's
Yeah.
true. But future episodes.
What are you talking about?
Like, we got to get the clicks on the YouTubes.
Click.
Like-
I can sit there and watch it a million times.
Go to every streaming device in your house
Yeah.
and then hit play from each one of them.
Simultaneously.
Create new accounts for YouTube.
Yeah, I already
So
have two.
all
Sure he
all
has
of them
two.
are all set up to, and then find this video on YouTube and then all watch at the same time.
And I'll be so thankful for that I'll be talking to you right now. And it won't feel like when I'm on my phone because I love you, Katie.
So you
Now I feel like you're just being a dick.
no,
Future Katie, he's just being a dick. Alright.
She's right.
I was gonna say you could say you love Katie, but you could space it out every 5 seconds so she's wandering through the house.
Oh, she could see it.
Yeah.
just hear somebody say
Sure.
complimentary things.
Yeah.
Well, I can love you and still be a dick to you. Isn't that what love is?
You're
No,
not wrong,
that's
but
the
you're an
exact
asshole.
Opposite thing
Like,
of
you're not
being
an
a dick.
asshole to Jeremy constantly.
What?
I am so nice to him.
Yeah.
What have I ever been mean?
I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about.
See?
You're too dense to catch on when she's mean to you.
I was given permission to treat her as the terrible person that's my favorite person when we had that Zappity Grumble a while back.
Fair.
All right, moving on.
All right, so before the end of this episode, we have to talk about A Feast for Odin because it's my new board game obsession because we played it like 3 times this weekend.
We did.
So Brian brought it over to teach Katie and I on Saturday morning, I guess it was. We
We
learned
did
the
tea,
game.
and then we learned tea. Or
We had chai first, and then we learned the game. It is by the same guy that made Caverna and Agricola. So if you've ever played those games, you know that Caverna is a strictly better Agricola. One cool thing about Feast for Odin is it is, I think, a really good game, but it doesn't strictly replace Caverna in your game catalog, which is nice.
It doesn't replace it at all.
No, they're very different games. They have
They're different, but that doesn't mean that they can't supplant each other because they're
It's true.
very similar.
There are some
I
things that are
think
similar.
So,
They
like, if
scratch
you're like,
different
I have 2 hours, you think they're different enough that it's not just, well, yeah, no,
If
we're
I had
we're
4
gonna play Feast
hours,
for
I
Odin.
would love to play back to back. If I had 2 hours, it'd be I would play either one happily.
Is this a Concordia Imperial thing?
Yeah.
Where
I
they're
think- I
similar
think it
but
is.
different enough? Okay.
I think so. Admittedly, I've only played A Feast for Odin 3 times, though. So maybe as I play it more.
I'm still figuring that game out. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm going to lose that game about 15 more times before I figure out how to be good at it.
Which may be true. I don't know.
I got
It's fun.
second my
If you're
first
enjoying
time,
it, you
so-
can lose it.
Yeah, it's
I
like Seven
felt
Wonders.
out of
I
the
like
gate-
the game, but I'm losing.
Out of the gate, and I still feel very strong in Caverna because I basically just transposed all of my Agricola strengths and strategies into
Straight into
Agricola, and
Caverna.
it works. And Feast for Odin is different enough where you can't. I mean, you can't. There are no similar strategies. The game
Yeah.
is different enough.
Yep.
That it doesn't really work that way, but because Caverna, Agricola, more spots open as the game goes on.
Yep.
Feast of Odin, all 61 spots are available from turn 1 on, which is a huge difference. I mean, 61
difference.
fucking action spots.
Yeah.
Are
And
available.
a lot of them use more than one action tick to go on. So like it's not like 61 individual guys out there either.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah. And having multiples of identical spots, but
Yep.
taking 2 actions versus 1 action. Yeah.
Or 2 versus 3, but 3 gives you a bonus. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah, I do think that it's similar to Agricola in that you kind of have to have a plan going in, and then you can't really waver a whole lot from that plan.
Well, a lot of those games are like if you play Agricola, Caverna, and even a lot of worker placement games where you're gathering resources, you would need to make sure you're going down a way to keep your system going.
Right, but with like Agricola, like your plan isn't like 2 or 3 moves ahead. It's like I need to know what I'm doing. Like this is my strategy for the entire game.
Yes, true.
you do need a long-term strategy. And
Yeah,
I think
I
this
think-
game's true as well.
Yeah, you need a long-term strategy.
The other thing that we're learning as we've played it a couple of times is you can't go all in on a strategy. You need to have 2 because every strategy has a certain amount of time and actions where you hit your optimum payout, and then if you don't have a second strategy you're doing, you just reach that point and it's too late to start another strategy, and you're just like, I'm just fiddling around for the last 2 turns.
Also, your strategy, like on a given turn, the optimal use of strategy, it isn't even a matter of like you run out eventually. It's like on turn 7, your optimal turn 7 for this strategy takes 6 of your Vikings.
Right.
So you have other guys that are just
just hanging
fapping
out.
about anyway.
Yep.
Right.
So they might as well, like that's why I grabbed an island. Grabbed an island when I did. Is like I had gotten my animals, I had that going, I was doing this. I'm like, well, I got 3 extra dudes.
Done.
Now's the time to kind of spread out a little bit.
Yeah.
No sense to me.
Non-Euclidean Nick also mentioned that the game, and I've heard this other places, that the game is really fun solo mode as well.
Oh, that'd be interesting to try.
You basically use. I know you use 2 sets of characters meeples, and you basically every other turn you do stuff. You switch colors, but the colors you use from the last turn you don't pull
Sit
off.
there as blockers.
They sit there, so you can basically you can never do the same action 2 turns in a row.
Interesting.
Every other turn you can do something.
That's fascinating.
And you start with less workers on the board, so you start with less and fewer.
I'm very curious if it's any good 2-player, because one thing I will say about Caverna, in my experience, it doesn't seem like a game that would be enjoyable 2-player. It might be, but like to me, looking at it, just like my perspective, it doesn't seem like it. This game seems tentatively like a good 2-player game to me.
Well, the Patchwork came out of that, and that's a great 2-player game.
That's a fantastic 2-player game.
Which you said it does not replace Caverna.
Yes.
If for some odd weird reason Andy was drunk,
You'd have to be
and
real drunk to
showed
want
up
to play this kind of game.
and showed up, I do play some weird games. Like
Occasionally,
that, too.
you do.
You would like
Which
Caverna
one-
more.
You'd like Caverna better.
Because
But
if
the
you're
other one
drunk,
has
you're going to have
Odin.
difficulty with the Yes, but Caverna you play as dwarves, and you
First of
go
all.
questing in caves, murdering things for points.
Why didn't somebody ever mention it to me that's the premise of that? No one has
one
ever. Everyone says
strategy.
Caverna.
In
No one has ever
Agricola,
said
you're-
there's fucking dwarves.
In
They're all
Agricola,
dwarves.
you're farmers.
Yeah.
They're dwarven farmers.
No,
No,
Agricola,
they're
you're
just
farmers.
farmers. Okay.
Caverna, you're dwarves.
Okay.
And Odin, you're Vikings.
But in the dwarven pillaging of caverns, that's only like one strategy. There's a
But it was obviously
yeah.
what Andy would do.
Right, but there are a bunch of different strategies.
But these
it's
still,
fun.
yeah. If you play like a Viking, you'll do better in Odin.
Yeah, Brian also learned that playing a Viking game and never buying a boat, not the strongest strategy.
I was only 1 point off from Katie.
It almost worked.
I probably would have gotten a very similar score without, like, all the boat got. Well, I did the boats just turning
Yeah.
things, but I never really needed to pillage or anything like that. I never did that.
I think Brian was at a point where
I
if he had
never had
about
a
1 or
raiding
2
boat.
boats, it could have spiked his score.
I only used the
should've
boat
bought-
once, and that one use of the boat, I think, gained me almost
But you also
nothing.
turned 2 boats into 39 points,
Sure, but I never sailed. I bought a boat and then just said, fuck it.
which is still a huge point.
My point is that it's not playing like a Viking.
I
Yeah.
suppose that's true.
I never used I used the boat to grab an island once.
Well,
and
it's
I
like
really feel
you're
grabbing that
immigrating.
island
It's
didn't give me
an
much.
immigration action, so you're immigrating
That's
into their
true.
territories.
And that's not Vikings. That's just immigrants.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't have to necessarily go raiding to do well at the game, but I think having a couple of boats is useful. 1 or 2 is certainly useful.
I'll probably give it a shot one of these times.
I would recommend actually being drunk though, because then you won't understand.
You'll
it.
have
That was going to be part 2. Is
Yeah.
the patchwork part of it will be very difficult drunk.
Yeah, so not only the difference between the big
highly
difference between that
functioning
game is you're literally collecting all these items and you have to put them on a board basically like Tetris. You have to fill up spots and you have to do all sorts of.
Andy's our tech guy, so I was pointing out the most
okay.
recent thing in chat too.
Then that should be correct. I did update it. Are you talking about for like iTunes or something? Message me on Facebook.
There you go.
Sorry, somebody's
Okay,
asking
so-
about. So what happened is episode 198
Was linking to 189.
was linking to 189 because my fat fingers.
That's a little funny.
I just interposed the 2 numbers there, and it's possible that the actual stream picked up 189,
189 as well.
but on the site it downloads as 198.
Do you know that the difference between transposed numbers will always be divisible by 9?
No.
That's true.
Wait, what?
If you take any number
Uh-huh.
and flip it,
Sure.
the difference between the two will be
Uh-huh.
divisible by 9.
So 89 to 90, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Huh.
And yeah.
Huh.
A useless one I like is that if you take
Wait,
the-
42 and 24.
Yeah, they are
Not-
18 apart,
They're
which
18
is
apart.
divisible by 9.
So divisible by 9.
Oh, the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking of like
Or I'm sorry, they're 32 apart. No.
No.
No, wait.
No.
42 and 24.
42 and 24 is...
It's 18 apart. I was right the first
Yeah,
time.
you were right
Anyway,
the first time.
if you take a number that's made up entirely of the digit 1,
Okay.
so 1 or 11 or 111 or any of
Sure.
those, multiply it by it, so square it,
Okay.
and the result is you count up whatever the number of digits was and then count back down.
Oh, like 121.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, so 1111 squared is 1234321.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, that's amazing.
and 11111
Yeah,
squared is 123454321.
Huh.
There you go.
Fun with math.
Yay, math!
Yay.
We're a math podcast now.
Oh, there's a math guy on YouTube that's pretty entertaining. He's a math comedian.
What?
I don't know his name. I showed you a couple of his videos.
Probably. I believe you.
He's so good he's on YouTube.
Katie discovered
I know.
YouTube recently.
Not everybody can
Like
be
a
on
year
YouTube.
ago now.
That's probably true, actually.
Feast to Odin.
Feast of Odin. Great game. Highly recommended.
I broke 100 my
Yeah.
first game ever.
Yeah. Nathan set one of the better scores we've seen in 3 games. This first game.
I feel like the rules are really simple, and then so you just have to concentrate on strategy. I think I like that a lot. It's a lot like Concordia that way. The rules are simple,
But the strategy is deep.
difficult.
I accidentally did what you were talking about. Is I think what worked for me it was you that said that, because from the very start, I'm like, there's 61 fucking actions, okay? And I have an idea, and I'm just going to do this, and I'm not going to look at those other 50 actions, because I'm just going to get confused.
Yeah.
So by doing that, I picked a strategy, and I stuck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm going to fill this board, and I'm going to get animals fucking, and that's going to be my life.
And it worked.
Just filling a board and having animals have sex with each other. And,
It worked.
for fear of the complication of the game, I did the right thing by sticking with one strategy.
I think one thing that I'm seeing as we've played the game more is I think getting an island is advantageous. Every player can get a benefit out of getting one island.
Yeah.
2 islands, I don't know if it was beneficial for me. 1 island was 100% beneficial.
My
for me.
island was purely I took a loan.
Yeah.
Because I took $10
Yep.
and then lost 10 points at the end, but it's okay because
But you
those
got
$10,
$10.
right?
That is
It
amazing.
was like I was playing a Martin Wallace game.
Yeah. Like, assuming you buy it the turn it's about to lose its money. If you buy it earlier than that, you have to have a real plan.
The game has occupations and cards which can modify the game rules for you. So every time you play the game, you're going to have different occupations, which are going to help push you in different potential
But it's a
methods.
pretty thin deck, so you're going to get bored of it really quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's only like 100.
It's like 40 possible starting occupations. You pull, 1 to 4 of them, and then you put the rest away for the rest of the game. And then there's like 100 plus that you use.
Maybe more, yeah.
Probably 150 for you draw from.
There's more than 150 because I looked up one that was at least like 182 today.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, it's very, very fun. I highly recommend it. I don't know if it's beating out... Let's see. What was my current
Terraforming
favorite?
Mars is
Terraforming
still-
Mars might
It's
still be
still
my
really
my
good, yeah.
favorite. And as far as like new games, does this replace Anachrony as new games I've played that are amazing? I think it might. I think it might be better than Anachrony. And I thought Anachrony was amazing.
Anachrony is
Better than Imperial.
Imperial, I only played the one time, so I
Alright,
feel like
fair
it's an
enough.
I would
unfair.
want to play Imperial.
I want
again.
to play it again, but I feel like I can't.
We need to
fairly
have
judge
someday
it.
where I come over and we play Imperial and Concordia,
Concordia?
so that we
Yeah.
can, we haven't back-to-back them, and I've never played Concordia.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think that would be fun.
The thing with Imperial is the first time that we played, which is good with people who had never played before except for yourself, and so like
Which
people,
was super handy
Yes.
when something happened.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
So I really like that game, but it'd be interesting playing with people who
Have played.
understood the game better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think we made a lot of first time player mistakes all together, which was fine. But it'd be interesting to see the game where we've all played it once.
Well, all together,
No.
I don't feel like I made
Well, Katie
very
kind of crushed
many
us all.
mistakes.
It turns out any game where the goal of the game is to be heartless and uncaring and make money, Katie's amazing at. That is just a fact. It just innately leans into her strengths.
Imperial is one of the most nihilistic games on the planet.
That is a fact. Like, if you have any sort of like, oh, I identify with these characters in the game, nope, you lose an Imperial.
So if I have all these Prussians and French people murder each other, I get more money? That's
Done.
convenient.
Let's do that. That was Katie. Katie
Anyway,
was very
It's
good
a fun
at
game. I would recommend it, but it'd be good to play it.
Yeah, I would
another
like to play it
time.
again. But yeah, so
that's games.
yeah. Do we have
Zappity Grumbles. We did. We had some.
we had a
I
couple
thought.
Zappities.
We had a couple.
a couple on the
I got some on the
Facebooks.
phone, but
It was on the Facebooks and stuff.
there was some on.
Seriously
on there.
though, fuck David Lynch. It's like the surreal artistic version of like Adam Sandler. It's like, okay, you were funny.
Yeah.
You were now you're just fucking
you're
terrible
just
because you're
annoying me.
trying to be Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I actually agree
Or
with
Ben
that about him.
Stiller, the same thing.
See,
It's like, I'm sick of you.
Ben Stiller to me is different because Ben Stiller has done various up and down different roles over time. Like
He's done a little
when he-
more,
when he-
maybe, but he's
when he-
usually just Ben Stiller as Ben Stiller.
When he tries to
Yeah.
be Ben Stiller, I don't usually enjoy him. But then
How did we get on the Ben Stiller conversation?
we were just
Adam
comparing
Sandler.
Adam Sandler,
Oh, yeah.
who has just become. I want to make movies about Adam Sandler.
I was
but-
just killing time talking about David Lynch some more while Andy pulled up the Zappity
I
Grumbles.
already had.
Oh, you're good?
I had it up
Yeah.
almost
Sorry,
immediately.
let's do it.
Fair.
So
Zappity.
Gary asks thoughts on the Warhammer 40K rules releases so far.
I know nothing.
We know nothing. We don't have anybody in the podcast or even side of guests on the podcast that play 40K.
Not our wheelhouse.
Age of Sigmaring 40K is not as abhorrent to me as doing it to Fantasy, because Fantasy was lobotomized from rank and file into Skirmish. 40K is already Skirmish.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's less of a big deal
That and it's just
Even from
not
an
our
outsider.
wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
If we were talking about maybe a new edition of Age of Sigmar, we could probably wax poetic about it, but no, we can't.
No clue.
Nothing
No
on
clue.
40K.
Tyranids
Rumble.
are still cooler than Necrons, though.
There you go.
That's all I remember from 20 years ago is that Tyranids are cooler than Necrons.
Rumble.
Because I played Tyranids when Necrons came out and fuck those guys. Sorry.
Zappity Grumble. Also, Necrons are basically xenomorphs.
No, Tyranids are.
No, Tyranids are.
Tyranids
Sorry,
are.
sorry, I
Necrons
misspoke.
are just robot skeleton mummies. Like they're yeah.
They're awesome. I really do. We should have a Necron. We should find somebody with 40K armies. You and I should just
can play
the
Necron
armies.
and Tyranids and just
Yeah.
with the new rules or just make shit up.
Well, no, because you make shit up quicker than I do, so and better than I do. So no, we'll have 2 40K guys. You let us use their armies, and then we'll just roll dice against each other.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Because I know I can win that game.
That is definitely.
That does sound like a game Andy would win. I gotta be honest.
Sorry, didn't mean to poke the wound.
It's true.
Zappity,
Grumble.
would you rather have a much higher than average jump or a double jump at your normal height?
My
Do they
height
end
is like
up being
that big.
equivalent?
No, just your normal jump.
Or much
But
higher than
my point is, when they say much higher, do they mean
Double
double?
the height.
So thus, it's the same equivalence, and we're talking about because if it's the same equivalence, then the double jump is more tactically flexible.
I would agree.
I want the double jump because that's the best move in video games ever.
Dude, I played the fuck out of Luigi in Super Mario Brothers 2 with that floaty big jump.
Yeah,
the running in the
where
air.
he's got the little feet going.
Can I get the Princess Peach hover jump?
Oh, also good.
She was
but
my
no,
go-to.
no.
No, you can't. That
Wait,
wasn't a question.
That wasn't the question.
I know.
Double, it's either you jump like Luigi, in a sense,
Or you double
or you
jump.
jump like Samus.
Who's Samus?
Samus from Metroid.
If I can
He's
change
the hero of,
directions in the double jump, Samus is Metroid's sidekick.
So wait, I don't care about that, but we didn't answer Nathan's original question about whether the height is
Equivalent.
It's a much higher than average jump.
Like
Or-
twice
and
as
then-
high? Because
So-
if it's twice as high.
That is important.
But a double jump.
But if it's 3 times as
So
high.
let's make it interesting. Triple your normal height, but it's just a jump. Or 2 normal height jumps where you can change direction in the middle. So now there's some discussion.
okay.
Okay, so now I have a follow-up question. When
course
you
you do.
land, is it a soft landing or is it like a land?
You're not going to break your legs. Let's assume that as part of this ability, you land.
You know how to land
You
without
got
being an
you got
idiot.
new shoes and they're
Yeah.
nice and soft.
So you can either jump triple or jump double with the direction change in
I'm
the middle.
still going double jump all the way.
Yeah, double jump.
I would triple over double, I think.
Yeah, I'm
You
with
just
Nathan
want
on
to
this
you just
one.
want to jump straight up.
I find that the extra height will be useful more often than needing to change directions.
Because you can jump over a fence that way.
Yeah, I can double jump over.
Would
a
triple
fence, too.
your height of a jump clear any fence ever?
Well, double wouldn't either. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
the
when
little
you're
ones
only
like in
going
front of a
this height-
shrubbery, like the little white decorative
Yeah,
ones.
I can get over that, man.
So yeah, Zappity. Brian apparently doesn't have an opinion.
True.
All right, Grumble. Best game to introduce a play group to legacy games.
Legacy game. Board games or video games?
No, legacy like
Oh, you're talking
Is a legacy
Yeah.
video game like if your character like loses an arm, you have to chop your own arm off? What's that?
I thought you meant like old school as opposed to the actual legacy games. I'm sorry, I apologize.
what old school games.
Yeah, no, legacy.
Okay.
Legacy.
Legacy.
Like Risk Legacy.
Yes, I know what you're talking
We'll
about.
finish
now.
that game sometime.
Will you?
We will. I still got it in my basement.
I haven't played it, but I've heard the best one by far is Pandemic Legacy.
Yeah, I've heard good things about
Well,
that.
there's not a lot. There's that. There's Pandemic Legacy. Gloomhaven's too heavy. I've heard that the Seafall. I don't know. I would say Pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, based on your, honestly, it depends on your group. It's either going to be Risk or Pandemic. It
Depending
depends.
on whether like Euro or combat mode.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's really. But either one of you, both are popular for different reasons.
Or play Magic, where when a thing is exiled from the game, you tear it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Zappity.
Grumble.
What size shirt does Andy wear? Fuck.
That's a question whether Andy wants to answer it or not.
That's an odd question.
You might get a free shirt if you answer
You
it.
might
It's
get
a
a free
Rodimus Prime shirt incoming.
That's amazing.
He wears gamer standard.
Yeah.
2XL.
Yeah, it is gamer standard.
God damn it.
Zappity.
Rumble.
See, XL is American medium,
Yeah,
and XXL is gamer standard.
Yeah.
I love the chart that showed it was like at a conference for Linux, and it showed the T-shirt sizes over time. It was like hilarious.
Yeah.
Arctic Circle had mentioned about time stories, but I don't really consider that a legacy game because isn't it you just play it once?
Yeah, it is replayable. Like a legacy game, you would literally tear shit up. In time stories, you don't do that. You just lose value doing it again because it's like redoing a choose your own adventure book where you know the right answers.
Right.
Like you can still reread it and enjoy the story, but you know the right thing to do.
So a good way to do it is do time stories drunk the first time, and then do time stories sober the next time.
Or vice
Well, you
versa
can
if you're
just-
drunk enough.
You just can keep being drunk though.
You could just
and
be
then
drunk
you
every
can
time.
Play
Yeah.
it infinite number of times.
That's very true too. It's like I don't remember what we did here. I think we did. Oh no, we all died.
Do time stories and then just get hit on the head with a wrench.
It's just package time stories with a wrench. It's like, why is this box weigh 10 pounds? It's just not all cards. It's
It's just like when you beat the game, it's in the instructions.
That
Hit
would
yourself
increase
overhead.
shipping costs quite a bit.
The wrench just says reset button on it.
Nerd.
Zappity.
Grumble. Brian's playing Star Wars. He does not care.
I should grumble.
He did. He's participating.
Who is going to MuseCon?
Not me.
MuseCon.
Only Andy.
Only
I am the only one going. And,
I would love to, but I work that weekend.
And would any of those attending be willing to play board game with listeners?
Nope. Sorry, I'll be playing Friday the 13th all weekend. Next
Andy will
weekend.
play Blood Bowl with you.
That's true.
Blood Bowl. I'll have Blood Bowl there. I will have a couple other board games. I will have Secret Hitler there because Secret Hitler is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, if what you like is Andy-style games, Andy loves Andy.
Secret Hitler is one of the best,
Is it?
like
I haven't played that one.
as far as werewolf style, it's more like Resistance. But like,
Okay.
if you want to play a werewolf style game but have it not be the fucking worst, Secret Hitler is way up there as far as
slightly better.
enjoyability.
Yeah.
It's way better.
Oh, it's way better? Okay.
I will willingly play Secret
way
Hitler.
better? Is it way better like One Night Ultimate Werewolf is supposed to be way better? Because I wasn't impressed.
Well,
it's
One
up there.
One Night Ultimate Werewolf is way better than normal werewolf.
That's terrifying. Because it's
What's wrong with One Night Ultimate Werewolf?
I still don't enjoy
I
it.
don't even like those games. That game's
Whether you-
fine.
I
I
still
think
don't like
that
it.
that game requires people to be really good liars.
One
Do
Night
you,
Ultimate
do you
Werewolf.
like Resistance?
Yeah.
It's
Secret Hitler is Resistance.
it's
Like-
basically
it's
Resistance.
more like
It's
Resistance.
more
Okay.
like Resistance than
Yeah.
the others.
It
Except for
is-
there's a key element of one person gets one power, then the game ends.
The mission phase is different. Apart
Okay.
from that, it's basically Resistance.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine. Then that would be fun because I enjoy Resistance.
I think it's a little bit more in depth than Resistance. Resistance is very simple. It's just yes, no, and then figure out who said no.
Yeah.
And then
Okay,
Secret
that's
Hitler, you have to try
Secret
to figure
Hitler's
out.
pass fail and figure out who did fail. It
Kind
really
of.
is.
But but it's more in depth with knowing.
I can tell you this in 10
cards.
seconds. So instead of the team going on, it's always two people.
Okay.
One person draws 3 tiles, and the tiles either say pass or fail.
Sure.
And there are, let's say, twice as many fails as passes.
Okay.
So they draw 3, they discard 1 unseen, and give 2 to the other person, who discards 1 unseen and then plays the other one face up.
Oh, okay.
And then they go, that fucker handed me 2 fails. And the other goes, I gave you a pass and a fail, you lying sack of shit. And
Right.
that's where the game comes in.
Okay.
And that's Secret Hitler.
Okay, fair enough.
It's very solid. It is very Resistance solid. If you like Resistance, Secret Hitler is just as good, if not better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
It could be reskinned as anything else in the world. It's just
just
The
It
Hitler
happens
theme
to.
works for it. It
It
really does.
works- it
'cause
works well.
As you fail, you pass fascist policies, which if you pass too many fascist policies, you lose the game. But as part of fascism, the government gets more power,
And
so
so-
you actually unlock the look at people's roles and the this, that, all those action cards
Unlock.
are things that you get to do because they are fascist policies.
Okay.
So even as the good people, you're like, well, a fascist policy passed, which is making us lose, but at least that means we get to
Play our
wiretap
cards.
your phone.
Yeah.
Were you part of the one where Travis basically stonewalled somebody?
Yes, yeah. As with Resistance, there's going to be magical moments where somebody just balls out, plays well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens.
All right, and that's basically I'll play board games. The only
The one
day,
of us who's going will play board games.
Yeah, the only day that I'm actually unavailable for board games is Saturday, but otherwise Thursday night, Friday night, and some of Sunday.
Hey,
I should
Katie,
be
if you're
available.
still watching, love you, baby.
That makes me happy.
She's already asleep.
I only listen to audio. It's a podcast.
Zappity.
How many minutes have our podcast, us here, actually listened to our podcast?
I used to listen to the whole
When
thing.
we first started, I would listen to every episode,
Yeah.
and then because we had things that were like there were like sound quality and things like that, and then You forget, too.
Yeah, I forget the entirety of things. Like, I would, on Wednesdays, I wouldn't always have the car, and so I would walk from work to Pegasus. And, you know, it's like an hour and a half walk, and so I would listen to the podcast.
Yeah, I've listened to less than an hour of the podcast. When I leave this room, I forget everything that happened in the room.
Also, the first couple episodes that I wasn't on, I listened to out of curiosity, which was handy because, you know, you talked about me.
I've been at home, logged into the podcast once or twice for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yep, I've done that too.
But
Yeah, that's sometimes I do have to listen to the whole episode. So
My
I'm
brother
curious- I
listens
was
to
just
us
curious.
double speed, which is great. You should always listen to us double speed.
Actually, listen to us slow speed.
He played
is
us
even
half
better.
speed once. It was amazing.
God.
Half speed. It just sounds like we're all drunk.
Yes. You are amazing drunk.
I knew that about her.
And then I was ranting about something, so I was swearing, and I'm like, mother fucking thing. Good times.
That's pretty good. Zappity?
Wow.
Is that it?
Well, that was my Zappity Grumble.
Oh, that was your Zappity Grumble.
Yeah, I was just curious. I was curious if
There's
everybody
not
actually
much in
listened.
there. There's Twin Peaks, which can go fuck itself.
Yeah, what is the best superhero movie out there? Batman-style heroes count.
I think the original Guardians is just
It is pretty solid.
phenomenal.
I absolutely love The Incredibles.
Incredibles.
Incredibles
is good.
is fucking amazing.
I'm excited about the new Incredibles they're making.
I wish they wouldn't have waited forever.
Well,
Yeah.
me too, but, you know. things
Powers
happen.
Booth is no longer with us.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Wasn't he dad?
No, Craig T. Nelson was the
Craig
dad.
T. Nelson.
But I
Yeah.
did see.
So okay, so
On the
that's
Something Awful
that's
forums,
my-
there's a thread that
Yeah.
is things you just figured out, and people just come in there and go, I just figured out this thing, and everybody just makes fun of them
Sure.
for it. And one of the recent ones was, I just figured out Powers Booth is not Craig T. Nelson, so you're not alone in that, Andy.
Well, I mean, it's like the Dennis Quaid,
Yeah.
you know, Harrison Ford thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't
The
like
Gary
Incredibles as much
Busey-
as other people.
I really liked it.
Nick Nolte.
I mean, I liked it. It's just like
just not,
everyone
like,
else is like,
superlative.
it's like up here and it's like.
The action scenes are great. The moments, like I love when Dash is running from the guys, and then out of desperation he runs on the water and
Yeah.
figures out
And
that
it
he
works.
can do
He's like,
that, and he
"This is
just laughs
amazing."
to himself. It's great moments. Elastigirl is fucking hot. You know,
She's
what?
like 13.
I don't know. The mom.
the mom.
Violet.
so speaking of inappropriate age,
He didn't mean Violet at all.
speaking of inappropriateness,
That
I
he
was
knew her name immediately.
I really think
Could
about
you
the
imagine fucking Elastigirl though? Anyway,
so the Jetsons.
yeah.
The
Yes.
dad's 40.
Sure.
The mom's 33.
Sure.
And the daughter's 17.
Sure.
So you got to figure when the mom had so the daughter had him when she was 17 and the dad was like 24.
How do you know these ages?
Well, I was listening to a comedy routine talking about the Jetsons. So really, the mom could have been like 16 and he was like 24 when they hooked up.
There is
It's
a cracked video that you may not have seen that was ruining your favorite shows with math, and somebody
Yep,
pointed
I
out
saw
that in
that
the
one.
original Cosby Show, and this isn't going into the whole rapey thing, but in the original Cosby Show, Bill Cosby's character mentioned that his wife had skipped her prom because of him. He's like 6 years older than her,
Yeah.
Yep.
so he was like 24 when she skipped her high school prom, and that means. But then they had been dating for like 3 or 4 years
At
prior
that
to
point?
at that point, so he was like 21 dating a 14-year-old.
Well, maybe
Yup.
15.
Maybe.
Okay, sure. Never mind. So it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Also, the actor turned out to be a rapist in real life,
Yeah.
so it's
the-
double weird.
So there's that.
I did see that one.
yeah, I know
of course you did. There were other good ones in there too, but I remember the Cosby one as well.
It is. I mean, I find that kind of stuff to be amusing. It
is amusing.
I happened to hear the comedy routine on it earlier today, which is what made it pop up when you're talking about ages of them.
That's fair.
And how hot Elastigirl is.
Zappity.
Well, what
Superhero
happens
films.
if she didn't stretch back down?
What?
I mean, like she can stretch bigger. Can she stretch smaller?
I'm not even talking like making her vagina tighter. I'm talking like she could rim me while I'm fucking her.
I feel like that's overstimulation.
I feel like there's no such thing. I feel she's welcome to do amazing things.
So, what are you gonna do for her in return if she does that for you?
Let her rim me. I'll do the best I can. She's also stretchy, which means I could probably, I can rim her while she's rimming me while I'm fucking her.
That feels confusingly over the top.
But the point is I can do whatever she
willing.
wants me to do. Within the abilities of my and her physiology, I'm a giving lover.
I I like how he took a very innocent question of what's the best superhero film and made
Katie
it
brought it up.
It's a sex
Actually, I brought it
question. You
up.
brought
But and then she might then even be physiological. Maybe she's just into Cleveland Steamers. I'll shit on her chest. That's fine. I'm a giving lover.
What is that?
And I can shit on her chest while I'm fucking her because she's Elastigirl.
Wait a minute. I have a question though.
Yeah.
Are you cleaning up the poo?
She can shake it off and just stretch it out.
See, because that's the real question. If you're a giving lover, if you do that for her and then clean it up for her.
She still have to take a shower. Like it feels like there's only so much I can do to clean
you
up somebody
shower her?
else's chest.
Yeah.
Well, you can take it. She's not going to shower.
Yeah,
with
like
it
I'll
on her
scoop
chest.
I'll scoop the bulk off. I meant clean up after my dog. I'll get a baggie and I'll scoop it off and then go get in the shower. And the top half of her can shower while I'm still fucking her in the bedroom.
How long does it take you to get off if you're always just still fucking her?
Well, it's again.
You can do a line in 20
Sure
seconds.
Sure it is.
I'm fat. Researchers have showed that fat men get winded faster, which means they last longer because it's really energetic to get the rhythm up to finish. So overweight men tend to like go for a while and be like, hold on a minute. So in shape men tend to finish sooner.
All right then. I have no comment.
Whether you've ever gotten winded while love making.
On that either.
Zappity Christ Grumble.
That's why I vote for The Incredibles.
That's why.
We should jump to recommendations.
We should.
Violet was older though. So question: if something's inside of her, can you still see it when she turns invisible? Like, assuming she's over 18, she's of age. Can you?
So could I see my dong?
Yeah, could you see your dong going in and out? Cause
You
that would
must be able
hot.
to, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to see through her, and that would include through the front half into the vaginal cavity.
One would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's say.
But does your dick
But
become
she has to
invisible
make
when it's
food
inside you?
invisible.
Does your
Like,
dick become
you don't
invisible
see her
when it's inside her?
digested food.
Does she just become a reflection of what might be behind her?
She must, because you don't see undigested food still inside of
not.
her.
Yeah.
So that would be a great joke to play on your doctor or something like that.
like fucking invisible woman.
Fucking invisible woman.
Joke's on you, Doc.
No, you could like literally pull down your pants and then your dick is just gone.
Doc, I have a problem.
For this joke to work, the whole time in the waiting room, I have to have an erection and be inside of this woman. I'm like, it's gonna be worth it, honey. It's gonna be hilarious. And so my pants have to be unzipped because my dick is out the zipper hole in this woman. So I have to carry her into the doctor's office. Sit down on the table with her on there, unzip my pants and go, "Joke's on you, Doc! Invisible woman, I have a dick!" And then she jumps off, and we do a bow and leave. Yeah. That sounds like a great plan. Could she make the wheelchair invisible? Or she could, like, walk on all fours, I guess. That'll work, too. She could be walking, and it's just like doggy style, so she's just walking in front of me. Yeah. Yeah, that's far more sense, because she just sits on my legs.
You're carrying her two back legs.
Yeah.
And then she's walking wheelbarrow.
Oh,
style.
wheelbarrow styles.
Yeah.
It's not even like I'm in her and she's walking and she's bent over. It's wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
And I'm holding the legs.
Yeah. That wouldn't look awkward at all.
I'm just walking like this.
Keeping your pants.
I'm walking like a monkey with my zipper unzipped while handprints are appearing on the carpeting 4 feet in front of me. Yeah. This will be hilarious, honey. Trust me.
See, when he first said it, I thought that you were going to be the invisible person and you would just make your dick be invisible.
No, I have to be fucking violent this whole time just to play a practical joke on this doctor.
I mean, the other thing was she sits next to you. You wait for the doctor for 10 minutes, and then you set up in the office. Your way is
better.
Yeah.
Well, because people, like, there's the receptionist will see.
No, she wants.
No, what you're saying is you walk in with the invisible girl next to you.
She sits
Right.
next to you, invisible. You're normal.
Oh,
Your
she's
pants-
already invisible. True.
Yeah. She's already.
Either way, she's already invisible, Nate.
I guess that works too.
I mean, what?
Because they usually show you the room. They escort you to the room.
Yeah,
And then they go and get the doctor.
I mean, your way involves.
Your way seems like fun too.
I mean, it would be a story.
You know, he's probably more efficient, where she just goes into the room with me.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
And just right as I'm unzipping, she just has to just ram right onto there.
No, because
No,
they
no,
give
well, you
a
can already
minute,
be set
so
up.
you
Put a
can
gown on
get a
ahead of
gown
time.
on.
Oh, sure. So he leaves. He's like, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the gown would be like.
She could just be blowing you, and then that way she can.
And then the gown
Oh,
down.
yeah. The gown will still
Do I
go
gotta
over her
explain
head.
all of this to you? Why am I the logical one? How to do? Oh my
Are you sure
god!
you're gonna want to hear like the gag noises?
And if Doc makes her laugh, that could be disastrous.
Or if she just starts laughing, it's funny.
Or you get too excited early, and suddenly someone's got to clean up.
Well, no, if she's giving you a
Would that be
blowjob, there's
invisible?
no
There's no
cleanup.
cleanup. Done.
Why? Depending.
Well,
on
you're
her.
assuming she's giving.
Yeah, because
How else did your penis disappear?
What?
How else did your dick disappear?
No, my point is, there's a finale to a blowjob.
Yes.
And for that not to need to be cleaned up, you're
Requires her to be giving.
Yes.
Okay, I get
That's
you.
what I meant. Maybe she doesn't want to.
why is that giving?
Maybe she doesn't
taking-
want to swallow.
Like a generous lover, as Nathan would say.
being willing to
Being
receive,
willing to
that.
receive.
Jesus.
No, that's just being clean.
Fair.
Well, that explains a lot over there
So
now. Wow. Too much information.
Wouldn't that be included in your cleaning crew, though? You could just leave it there. And twice a week, they would clean it up.
No, once every 2 weeks.
That's what I meant. Once every 2 weeks, they would. Yeah.
It
You have to-
pile up.
Or just plan it for the day before.
Oh, that'd be nasty.
Or,
No.
or do it while the cleaning ladies are there, so they can just catch it immediately.
Well, it's just one cleaning lady.
No, just clean, what? Yeah.
no, no.
Just don't want to clean. Just a minute. You're gonna clean this up, bitch. That's what I'm saying.
Just maintain eye contact while you do
Serve
it.
dominance.
This is gonna be amazing.
I don't think I'm.
And that's how you play a joke on your doc.
And so, what's your favorite superhero movie, Brian?
Spider-Man.
Which one?
The act?
Wait, Tobey Maguire
That evildoer.
or the new?
You know, the first Spider-Man movie is very important because that really kicked off like a good superhero movie.
It did. It did.
And the
started
swinging
the
scenes were so exhilarating. Yeah. Not swapping wives, you fuck nuggets. You're dirty.
You had such a convoluted plan to trick the doctor.
I just didn't consider her being there not on my dick. Obviously
Obviously not.
Obviously not. You're trying to figure out the best position for her to walk to the room. How many? Oh my god!
I'm gonna listen to this episode. I'll tell you that much.
All right,
think
Andy,
any-
what's your favorite?
Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
Okay.
I know
The
Andy
very,
well
very
enough.
first Superman.
The original, yeah.
It has probably the best, some of the most iconic music from a
It does.
superhero
It's really
movie.
good.
I tear up when I hear the John Williams Superman
It's
theme.
an amazing
That's
theme.
because John Williams is a
Such
fucking
a-
musical genius.
I'm hearing it in my head and I feel tingles. It's such a that movie. Besides the end, but it's a superhero film.
It is.
It's the epitome of superhero films. It's the best.
It is really good.
I think it's John Williams. Story. I'm just going to assume it's John Williams. Whoever did the soundtrack to Schindler's List, they told Steven Spielberg, they're like, I'm not good enough. Like, you need somebody better than me. And he's like, yeah, I know, but they're all dead.
Okay.
Which is just hilarious.
That is pretty good.
Wow, Superman.
Oh, man.
All right,
Zappity
good
Grumble.
podcast.
That's the last one. Yeah.
Recommendations.
Quickly go through recommendations.
Oh, recommendations, sure. I recommend Feast for Odin.
I recommend Legion.
Ooh, good recommendation.
Yeah, I recommend both of those. Those are really good. Oh no, I already recommended it. It's just a lot of stuff. American Gods is amazing. Fucking yes.
Never seen it.
I'm still home. I'm gonna watch it soon.
Yeah.
You have them all recorded?
I have the Stars app, so I can
Oh,
watch
yes.
them whenever I want. Yes.
Can I download that Stars app?
And use my password.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'll let you use my HBO during.
I already have HBO.
Oh.
It's all part of your Amazon, isn't it?
I don't have Amazon. Oh. Maybe I should have that instead.
I think it's cheaper. Well, you have to pay Amazon, so.
I don't have a new one. I've recommended so many things that to just re-recommend American Gods, MST3K, blah 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 blah.
There you go.
I'm just gonna go with Feast of Odin.
There you go.
What?
Well, this guy says another fuck, marry, kill with the current table, but you need to give us choices. I was watching The Fistful, or For a Few Dollars More with Raylene, and I don't know if you've ever watched any of those like spaghetti westerns.
I have. But
everyone in those movies is really, really ugly, and so I kept pausing it and making Raylene do a marry, fuck, kill with these grizzled, horrific Italian men, and she chose kill for all of them.
All right,
we are not going to do a marry, fuck, kill of each other.
No.
That'll end badly.
Nope.
Not going to happen.
Nope.
I'm uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Brian?
Brian?
I doubled up on the Feast of Odin.
Oh. My recommendation, I really liked it. I thought it was a pretty cool show so far. Taboo.
The old 1970s porno about incest?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope. No, this is Tom Hardy. It's the BBC
I saw
made.
commercials for that and then forgot it existed.
I think basically pretty much the world forgot it existed. Each episode of it, it's basically kind of telling the story of a guy who disappears into Africa, comes back after everyone thinks he's been dead, because his dad had died, left a big claim for over in the New World, and everyone's fighting over it. The visuals are probably some of the best I've ever seen for a television show. Each show feels like a full-on movie, a full-on production. Is it really,
BBC?
I think it is.
Because a lot of BBC stuff is like that, especially in length as well as like the like look at the Sherlock show where every episode's 2 fucking hours.
Yeah, it feels like that. All the characters are really well in depth. The visuals are just goddamn amazing. It's a pretty cool show. I'm about halfway through it right now, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
I should have recommended Wild Orchid.
You still can, man.
I can recommend Imperial, as we mentioned,
Which is also good.
Whatever.
Star Wars Rebellions have an expansion come out. I'm very excited.
There you go.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other Star Wars card game.
The board game has an expansion coming out. So I'm very excited for. Oh, that's all I got.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
That's
I
$199.
have to go watch Leftovers.
200 next time.
I know.